thinking about that as I go about my day and make the decisions in my reality. I hope you reflect on that a little bit too. And we'll see you next time. Here's Benton. Love this shit, dude. Might have to play it twice. We'll talk to you guys later.
Looking dumb as hell with a mask on. Looking dumb as hell with a mask on. They got the little kids in masks. Y'all know that mask don't do nothing. Hell, he got his nose out. Hey, if this mask did anything, it's infected. You got your nose out. My man, it ain't doing nothing. You got your nose out, buddy.
Muted.
Well,
fuck, I was muted. Sitting here muted like a bozo. Now my internet's taking this shit. Fuck.
Mask on. They got the little kids in masks. Y'all know that mask don't do nothing. Hell, he got his nose out. Hey, if this mask did anything, it's infected. You got your nose out.
Get on my back.
Man, it ain't doing nothing. You got your nose out, buddy.
Live streamer failed.
I love that. I love the whole video. Those clips were amazing. But yeah, final point, Mr. Miyagi. I don't know if you're talking something for me, but if you're talking to me, I would emphasize, yeah, I'd much rather worry about myself than let everyone else worry about me, because there seem to be plenty of other people that want to worry about you too. Yeah, that is right. That is right.
What's up, everybody? Between the internet problems, which are persisting based on what I'm seeing up there, I did not feel up to going to the library, but now I'm thinking maybe I should drag my happy ass up there based on the poor internet performance. We might have to go icon only. And I'm not feeling well. What's up, Terry Miller? Good to see you. I'm not feeling well today, so my internet doesn't work that well here at the in my hovel. So I'm going to drop the link, and I'm going to need some people to come panel, or this might be a very short broadcast. I think I blew my load, I think, on the this morning's walkabout, sauntering broadcast. Give me a second. What's up, Ice Grills? You got your nose out, buddy. Indeed, sir. Indeed. Yeah. Oh, Benton not feeling well today. Thanks again for dealing with the tech difficulties and me forgetting to unmute my mic. As the Wi-Fi got the new variant. That's right. Variants of concern. Variants of concern. Let's give Dow his ASMR. What's up, Dow? You're not here yet, but you will be. Yeah, going 2 hours early. Did not. So anytime I say I'm not feeling well, that's my base state. So what I mean is I'm feeling particularly unwell, meaning I realize now I need to rest for the rest of the day. It's probably as a result of yelling at my father yesterday, and the demon of wrath, showing itself and feeding, right? And then continuing some of that energy this morning. What's up, What Life? Hoping we have a prosperous day. Indeed, sir. Yes, the NPR voice is designed to put Slow Boy to sleep. Well, never mind. Thanks, brother. Mr. Me, good to see you as always. I don't know that it was my best work, but maybe I said some stuff. Yeah, I said some stuff. You got your nose out, buddy. Anyway, anybody that wants to join, we're not going to be picky. Although I will say this, I always reserve the right to fade into the background depending on who actually shows up on the panel, right? So be aware of that dynamic. My mic is way too loud. Mr. Khan. Yeah, this is a hang. This is a hang to some extent, what we do over here. We meaning the people who, for whatever reason, choose to frequent this channel. It's a bit of a hang, so I got almost no material. I'm about to hit the THC vape. I ain't doing shit today. I got no reason to go anywhere. My clutch needs replacing, so that will be done in the near future, but certainly not right now. Just going to rest up the rest of the day. Probably, veg out on some YouTube. I mean, what else would I do, right? Especially once the old THCO kicks in. It'll be a wrap on old Benton. Yes, indeedy. Oh, man. Open panel. Let me make a banner. It is funny how the audience gets trained to a certain extent. I mean, I'm sure there's going to be not more than 9 folks in here eventually. Oh, real quick. Sorry, before I forget. Well, hang on one thing at a time. So I don't know that it will amount to a hill of beans. However, I have created a Rumble. It's Benton JA303. And at some point, I'll probably change this channel from 668 to 303. But yeah, Benton JA303 at Rumble. They will not let me live stream until I get 5 subscribers. And with StreamYard, I can multi-stream, to Rumble as well as YouTube. Again, I would not expect it to amount to a hill of beans, but certainly I'm open, to the possibility of whatever happening over there. You're smoking the shit they killed Elvis, purple bumper rocks. I don't even know what that means, but it sounds lovely. Be right back. Let me grab the vape here. Oh, buddy. Where is the vape? Oh, there it is. The vapes, rather. Let's see if the cam works. Certainly won't be going on Paul's today. Paul Enslaves broadcast on THCO. It's rough. I'm probably going to cough. Thank you, Slow Boy. 1 down, 4 to go. Interpretation, it's good. Oh, okay. I got you now. Yeah. Translation, it's good. Yeah. Is he still live? If something's going on, man, everybody feel free to go other places. This is not going to be one of my better broadcasts unless you never know when epic paneling could occur. Hey, my first I love that about you, Slow Boy. I love that about you. Clean your room, Bucko, by the way, not you, me. Look at that back there. And I don't sleep in the bed. I sleep on the floor. So, realistically, it'd be nice to just be able to take that bed out of here. If I end up staying here for any period of time, I'm getting that thing removed and I'm going to put in some kind of shelving maybe. Do you get a cookie? Good question. I don't see why not. I'm not trying to flirt, but probably wouldn't. What do they say? I wouldn't kick her out of bed for eating crackers. I only say that because the cookie reminded me of that, and then something about that's the way the cookie crumbles. So yeah, that's the way the cookie crumbles. Sometimes I like speaking in aphorisms or well, not even aphorisms, cliche. Yeah, everybody Rumble. Is it an @ on Rumble? I don't know. Is it @? But it's Benton JA303. Need 4 more subs. Although it may be less than that. And 12, and the internet is shitting again. So back to my face. Look at those eyes, man. Good God. Oh, I made an Amazon order. Thank you, by the way, to the contributors, including Music Holds a Secret, who's not in here yet, surprisingly. He must be doing things in IRL, right? We'll Wish I had known I was going live so early. I would have given him the heads up. Now I've forgotten what I was going to say, of course. And that's not the THCO. That takes a minute to kick in. Although the shitty Delta 8, shout out to Christos, by the way. Yeah, this definitely has some Delta 8 in it, because I know, because it hits hard. Hits hardness. It hits quickly, I should say. Wouldn't say it hits hard, but although the way I'm now speaking could run perhaps contrary to that point. And good points by Yurt. So certainly I can just play Yurt's broadcast and respond. So that's good. I have something to do. We have something to do. Yay. And I have no desire to move to Rumble, by the way. But imagine doing this on Rumble and where I would be able to play music and such. Oh, well. Yep. Purple Papa Rocks. What shall we do, folks? I have no desire to watch the machine. What was that? The Sanity Machine on Drew. Just not interested, I must say. Do y'all know about that Forever Conscious research channel? He does live streams about the Soul Trap, and he was on Drew, the old CBO Discord, and so I knew about his videos when they had like almost no views, and of course he was getting made fun of and dismissed out of hand based on his ideas, certainly without any consideration. Oops, he's an idiot. Yeah, I it's funny. Based on almost nothing tangible, it's like I came to that conclusion on my own, if you mean the Sanity Machine. Somehow I just knew that he's an idiot. How did I know? I don't know. But I did. I'm going to change this icon, man. I can't deal with this. Edit audio avatar. And I do need to learn to take my time a little bit. I do. It's not even pressure. It's like I've trained myself to keep the flow going, and with some pauses here and there, to just always be doing something with respect to the broadcast. But this is a solo endeavor with interactive aspects, and certainly you find folks are contributors as well in real time. But as far as whatever I'm doing up here, that's the thing. I guess eventually I will just fully adopt all of Mr. Unslaved's, terminology. In fact, just the idea of, I was annoyed just by the idea of, well, come up here or come up. I just didn't like that phrase. And now here I am saying it. I suppose I've become desensitized. Well, maybe I should go back to me. Like 3 people left, although it's probably a coincidence, right? I'm going to change my icon. How about this one? There we go. Lots of rhyme without reason. Yeah. I'm not familiar, but I've heard the name enough by now to know something's going on, right? Let's promote the Rumble while we're here. Fucking Rumble. I don't even like the name Rumble. Cranky old man. Oh, I got to sign in, don't I? No, maybe not. So I'll learn about Rumble. I'm going to type my channel name into the tab up here. We'll see what happens. Search field. Oh, I'm disconnected. Great. Wonderful. Maybe not. Oh, there we go. Streamer fail. Fucking Rumble. Benton JA303. Does anything occur? Yeah, there I am. No videos, 1 follower. Fantastic. And I don't know what I'm doing on Rumble, so there's 2 of me apparently, but they're both me. But this is where the videos will be, or the live streaming will be. So if anybody feels like following this channel, then I will be able to, multi-stream through StreamYard in the future. The silence is a meditation. I enjoyed my talk with O'Shea yesterday. That was fun. That was enjoyable for me. I don't know what the audience thought. At a certain point, I wanted to make a joke that, now I was vibing so high that, I was untethered and floated off into space, so much so that, if God was in heaven, or if God is in heaven, whatever that means, eventually it was like God sitting on the throne up in heaven and looks over and there's Benton floating next to him. And he's like, "What are you doing up here, partner?" Man, I guess I'm vibing too high, Lord. I don't know what to tell you. And then, yeah, me and O'Shea yesterday vibing high. And then the live chat is just Snafu and others discussing dead babies. So it's like, okay, clearly, this is here to balance out the O'Shea Benton vibing high, right? Yeah, they really don't like this icon. It's funny what drives the numbers up and down. Suppose we're mailing it in today on some level. What do y'all think? Oh, I know what the problem is. Well, one of the problems, not the entire problem. If there's no clearer sign of my decline, then the quality or lack thereof of this broadcast certainly will stand testament to Benton's decline, both mental and physical, or physical and mental. And I'm broadcasting for me and whoever may or may not view this on the replay. So open topics, by the way, in the comments. I'll do my best in the live chat. Maybe I'll take a nap. Would not be the first time I've napped on stream. Slept for like an hour and a half during Truther Bowl weekend. Does anybody remember Truther Bowl weekend? Yeah, I slept for like an hour and a half on EBT's stream. And then him and Burn-Eye were speculating that I had actually taken like a still image and put that up on my camera. But then my arm moved at a certain point, like I readjusted slightly, and everybody missed it. That was Truther Bowl weekend when I more or less streamed for an entire 48 hours. I wasn't the only one, but since I have the superpower, the sleep superpower from truck driving, an hour and a half got me through. Who else is live? Now I want to see, is this just me? Is this just me? Or is there's something going on? Maybe OT. Is OT? Mad Mystic. Oh, okay. 8:35. Well, this is not going to be a long one then, probably. Following on Rumble. Thank you, Roy. Thank you, Roy. 2 down, 3 to go. Open topics. Oh, the classic fable of the frog and the scorpion. Yeah, I can do that. Actually. I can do that quite easily, Cherry Miller. Give me one moment. And although I do recall that this broadcast, my title of this was "Ate Up with Cancer." So I think a lot of people have already made up their mind not to watch this broadcast. So that may have something to do with the lower than that in my early commencement. The early commencement of the broadcast in conjunction with the previous stream title that may have turned people off and driven them away from the broadcast, at least for today. Oh yeah, and I'm going to go to my own very channel, although I believe this is not available. I think this is privated. So one moment, please, while I go to my content. And I have another video I'd like to play while I'm in there. Of course, now the internet is not going to, well, it's cooperating to some extent. I would share the studio, YouTube studio screen. However, I will most likely unintentionally dox myself. Oh, here we go. Yes. This is how I will discuss that, the frog and the scorpion. Although it could also be other animals, right? Or other. But yeah, thank you, by the way, Terry Miller, for the topic. Let's do the old screen share, stop cam, present. Here we go. This is by yours truly. I was very, very drunk on a daily basis when I made this. Now, rehearing it, I realized that I made some errors in the production of the audio. And I have no desire to go back and attempt this again. So it is what it is. The audio drops could be a little better, but it is. It's just, it is what it is. So without further to do.
Said the reptile with a grin, "You knew damn well I was a snake before you took me in."
Yeah, that final part, I feel like that addresses most of what I would have to say. Yeah, Operation Get Warped. That addresses most of what I would have to say with respect to that parable or whatever we're calling it. Yeah, thanks, Jimbo. Well, I've got another video. Give me a moment. I got something else I've been wanting to cover, so perhaps this will be a fortuitous broadcast after all. One moment. Yurt was talking about that he doesn't want to do the panels anymore for the most part. And that reminded me of a video I had made and had published on the channel, but is no longer on the channel. So give me a moment. We'll find that. Although I may have deleted it. That was pretty early on in the channel. Must have been a live stream, actually. Let me find this bad boy. Well, fortunately, there's 450 live streams on the channel, and it's one of the first ones. So bear with me while I click the forward arrow 8 or 9 times. Oh, please search. Okay, panels. There it is. Why I don't do panels. Bam. We have audio difficulty.
I tried to do a live stream earlier, and I forgot to plug my mixer into the phone. I got this handy dandy $99 stereo mixer and microphone.
Get to the point, sir.
Here that I'm speaking to you on. Got this bad boy rigged into the phone, and we got second phone carrier lock to Walmart Family.
I have been assimilated,
y'all. T-Mobile hotspot. So let's monitor the live stream here. See how this is working. One moment. Yep, we're live. I'm watching.
Long hits.
See if we got audio. I'm watching. Yep. All right, we got audio. I did like 5 minutes earlier, and no audio, unbeknownst to me. And I've been very much enjoying. Shout out to N.A. Yurt with Books channel. I've been enjoying Austin's recent live streams quite a bit, and he's been doing a lot of panel discussions, which I enjoy watching the panel discussions. However, and I do want to say, I personally consider all of this to be entertainment. All right, let's see. Wait a minute. Let's get the chat set up so I can read the chat. Hey, we got a couple folks in here. I can actually read the chat, unlike when I was driving. So if anybody wants to hit me up in the chat. The thing about these, I've watched hours of these panel discussions now, and the fact is, I've learned absolutely nothing. I have not received anything of substance at the level of ideas, thoughts and ideas, concepts and such. Now, what I have also witnessed, and I'm a critic by nature. Let's see. I'm a critic by nature, and I see a bunch of people who, with their mouths, are espousing these spiritual concepts, but then when they have an opportunity to demonstrate their understanding of the concepts through their actions, they've been unable to do so. And
Oh, and that was me as well, by the way. I just described myself in my early foray into panels. Interesting how even old Benton can manage to project at times. Fascinating.
Big part of that is, possibly I would be able to contribute intelligently to a panel discussion, but I'm not able to do that when I finally manage to get the floor, as it were, and then I'm 3 words into my second sentence, and one or more people are feeling some type of way about what I'm saying, and now they must emanate. They have to make the mouth noises now, and because of my hypervigilance or whatever you want to call it, I'm not able to talk while somebody else is talking. So now my flow is interrupted, right? And now the audience, because I'm so frequently an audience member, now how many times have I been frustrated or allowed myself to be frustrated because, okay, now the panel discussion is going in a direction that I find interesting. Okay, it's about to happen. We're actually going to begin to talk about pressing ideas. And maybe if this continues long enough, I will actually encounter some information or a new spin, a concept that I've already previously considered. Oh, but somebody feels some type of way about halfway through sentence number 2 of now it's getting interesting, and they cannot control themselves. Why can't these people shut the fuck up and listen? And I'll shout out to Chalk Body Outline YouTube channel. Shout out to Drew World Order. Shout out to Enslaved by Truth YouTube channel. I have heard absolutely nothing on these in a year. And I'm not criticizing the host. This is the people who are coming up on the panels. Y'all are behind. Y'all are talking about stuff that we, and I'll be specific, we meaning the people who were participating with the Discords, Discord servers of the Chalk Body Outline, if you want to call that a community, but the fans of the channel. And some people who weren't even fans of the channel. These people coming up on these panels are talking about things that we were debunking 2 years ago, literally. And so if you see me in the live chat and I'm not able to participate, or I'm explaining why I'm not going to participate, I'm just going to be in there typing in the debunks. Well, okay, here's why that shit ain't valid. Clickety, 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 right? Oh, but then now we get to the Paul and slave culture of, hey, there's secretaries in the chat. Can you believe this shit? And this is why I talk about entertainment. I am fascinated by this human behavior. And I do consider myself to be an anthropologist. I think it comes naturally to me, observing, behavior, human behavior. It's secretaries in the chat, as if I'm somehow obligated to and they're like, oh, we want to talk face to face. This ain't face to face. This is me looking at your camera in a little on my phone screen, and it's where's the camera? It's an 1/8 of an inch rectangle, so it's a 1/4 of an inch by an 1/8 of an inch rectangle, and that's face to face. Because here we are in Alphabet, Google, YouTube, Helpit, and I will. Here's the thing: is if I'm going to intelligently convey my well thought out ideas and use a lot of abstractions of larger concepts to tie things together and make a point, right? It's going to take some time, and I can't do that while people are talking. Okay, and furthermore, it makes me wonder what's going on in the brains of people who are participating in these panels. Are they not interested in, it's like, why am I finding where this conversation is just now beginning to go? Why am I finding that interesting? But then these people, presumably because of their emotions, must interject. But then when they seize control of the conversation, it just completely derails what's happening. And where they take it is, okay, now we're back on things that, again, over at Chalk Body Outline, we, the people who were participating, and I was featured as a content creator on that channel quite a bit for a time. We debunked all of this. I got people talking about Ray motherfucking Epps. I've heard the name. Apparently that has something to do with January the 6th. I'm gonna tell you right now, and I wrote this in the comments, anybody dumb enough to have entered into the U.S. Capitol on January the 6th deserves whatever they get. It doesn't matter to me that, oh, well, it turned out there were government agents were the first ones that went in, and they honeypotted, and they got all these people to come in. That's their problem. Anybody dumb enough to fall for that bullshit deserves whatever they get. You couldn't have got me within 2 miles of that Capitol on that date with what was going on in the news cycle for millions of dollars. I'm not kidding. Say, hey, Ben, here's millions of dollars in cash. All you got, it's waiting for you 1.75 miles from the U.S. Capitol. And today's January 6th, and this is what's going on in the news cycle. Nope, I'm good. I'm good on all that. Because what's my freedom worth? What's my clean criminal record worth? What's 10 years in federal prison? How much money would you take to serve 10 years in federal prison? Come out with a criminal record. See, state prison. This ain't state prison where it's they gave us 10, we get parole after 2.5. You serve like 85% of the sentence, man. People are nuts. And you know who else you don't see at the Capitol? Antifa. Antifa ain't up there at that Capitol. Now there's a DC branch of Antifa. They not at the Capitol. And I'm gonna tell you right now. See, I'm done. I'll run them off. See, and this one of the first things I detected about this so-called truth community. I said, these Trumpers, MAGA. Insanity is believing that a blue-blooded billionaire from Manhattan cares about po folks. Man, where Trump comes from, they look down on us, commoners. They look down on us. Okay. But I would certainly love to contribute, and I think I'll do so, with my own live streams here and there. Living in a truck and working every day, the time is limited to be able to do so. Not complaining, merely pointing this out. But certainly I will put this out there to Austin. If he ever wants to bring me on by myself for like 10 minutes, 15 minutes at the start of the show, man, just email me. Hey, I'm going to go live in 30 minutes. You want to do the first 10 minutes with me? 10, 15, 20 minutes of the show? Hell yeah. While he's off making his coffee or whatever, hell, I can keep talking. That's no problem. And again, I want to see this out of these people on these panels. Have they done podcasts on their own website where it's just them talking for like an hour and a half, 2 hours, and keeping on topic and keeping, the same narrative and making points. And I think I'm scatterbrained. Some of these people, I don't know. I question their sanity, honestly. And then back to the face-to-face communication. This is not face-to-face human communication in Google's help kit. The fact that I'm talking at you through a camera right now, a microphone. This is a virtual reality overlay on top of the real reality. You got people walking. What are we getting here? Hey, I got to load. That was quick. Oh, man. Well, I guess I better wrap this up. I was wanting to load, but my dispatcher quit, so I don't even have a dispatcher at this time. This company, very laissez-faire. If I had to sum up this company and the way it's run, that would be the laissez-faire. I also hear a lot of people on these panels that trying to use big words and using them incorrectly, or using one big word when actually it's a different big word that they need to be using. And people complaining about the drama. This is what YouTube is. This is what people respond to, myself included. I did the best, the most, not that I have very many views on any of my videos, but the most popular, all of my videos that have any sort of views whatsoever, they all have to do with drama, every single one of them. So people, and shout out to Drew World Order, he pointed this out. These people claim to not like drama, but then they, like a moth to a flame, right to the drama. See, I love it. All this Talcott stuff's been hilarious, man. And who got the ball rolling on that, by the way? I'll go ahead and toot my own horn a little bit there. What's up to everybody? Yeah, we got 8 watchers. Good to have everybody. And man, this truck is getting hoarded out, buddy. Look at this, man. This is getting bad. And I organized this thing multiple times. Hey, believe me, this was all spick and fucking span this morning. What am I in? 15 square feet or something in here? I don't even know. Yep. And just constant Amazon packages I'm picking up from these Amazon lockers. And Amazon, man, there's no fucking way that Amazon, it makes money and is like a real thing. I mean, that's a government op. We're talking about the government agents and all this stuff. Does Amazon make any fucking sense? They're sending me packages to I can just be on my phone ordering shit to an Amazon locker, and it's fucking free overnight delivery. There's no way. Jack Talcott drama. What's up, PMAC Movies? Welcome. Get a phone call now. Oh man, well that's the company. Don't they know I'm live? Well, I guess this proves that they don't watch my.
Well, I actually never watched this back. This is hilarious. I didn't even know if y'all could hear me talking to the dispatcher or not. That's me on the phone getting the particulars from the dispatcher. That's kind of funny. And thinking maybe y'all were hearing it. Huh. Oh, now I kind of want to see what other oldies do I have on here. Uh-oh. Bear with me. We're just clicking forward to go to the next page. I think if I examine the URL up there. Oh, there's last page. Never mind. There it is. Oh, this is the last page. Fantastic. Huh, I think that was a driving stream. Wow, driving the truck in Dallas. Huh. Just looking through what we got in here. All right, that'll do for now. Although, here's some more content, by the way. Since Yurt was asking for the old Benton IRL, I don't know, what do we call that? What should we call that, rather? Here's me talking to some folks who are doing that panhandle. It's not a scam, but you see the same formula over and over. If y'all have ever seen these folks who, panhandle at the more upscale for the area, shopping centers, and it's like a cleaned up and nicely dressed couple, and they might be maybe with their kid, and they've one of them's acting like he's playing the violin, but it's, they're playing pre-recorded. The Benton Street Sweeper. Hang on. I'm going down, down, baby, yo, street in a Range Rover, street sweeper, baby, cock, ready to let it go. I'm going down, down, baby, yo, street in a Range Rover, street sweeper, baby, cocked, ready to let it go. I haven't heard that in so long. I'm having trouble saying the lyrics. But that's what I thought when you said street sweeper. Street sweeper. I'm going down, down, baby, yo, street in a Range Rover, street sweeper, baby, cock, ready to let it go. There we go. Got it. Anyway, this was in Jacksonville, Arkansas, near a military base, as an obese, older white man, I guess, probably in his 50s, although it's hard to say. Could have even been in his 40s, lays more or less dying of, organ ailment. While he just screams, help, 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 repeatedly. And while this is happening, you can hear the music, that's playing from the formulaic panhandlers PA equipment. So here we go. Oh, hang on. I got to crank up the old, see, the internet's. It's Arkansas. How dare you want to be connected to the internet?
All right, Benton here. Benton here. I'm at the Walmart in Jacksonville, Arkansas, which does happen to be.
So if you heard that, that was the guy laying on the ground. And it's not funny that he's dying of organ ailments. That's certainly, there's no humor to be found there, certainly. However, you can hear him start yelling for help. He's over near the stop sign, which is the most frequent panhandler. That's where the panhandlers typically, that's the most prized spot. The guy dying of organ ailments. And I used to say, in Arkansas, they, meaning the authorities and the community at large, will happily let one die in the street. And I used to say like a dog, but let's be serious here. If there was a dog dying in the street, somebody would come pick it up and take it to the doggy hospital. So human beings now no longer afforded the same status as a dog with respect to these matters. But I digress. Back to the video.
Wow. Do you hear this guy yelling? I hate to laugh, but look at this scene. And normally I wouldn't film a couple like this that's doing this, but I'll tell you why we're doing it is because as a truck driver, I see this all over the country. A couple just like this with a sign like this. The part that's new about all this is that I've just now started seeing the violin. And I don't know, y'all aren't doing anything wrong. No problem. No problem. No policia. No policia. No policia. And this guy yelling help. They are kind of making it hard on him though, because you can't hear him over the music. Yeah. I make a video, sir. You're in the video. I'll make a video.
Oh God, the wind noise.
I see this everywhere. Who makes you do this? Is this human trafficking? No. I see this everywhere. Truck driver, drive truck. I see this everywhere I go. Yeah. Yeah, people like this everywhere. So is it human trafficking? Is someone making you do this? No. Who gets the money? Who gets the money? Well, he's not playing.
Oh, and I love the general public now. The general public showing up out of nowhere and inserting themselves. And look how physically close. She actually snuck up on me. She's very physically close to me here. Unnerving, as it were. I forgot about this. Oh, and the walk up to the camera and then say, don't film me. Classic. Watch how Benton handles it. You've seen some of these people get triggered, and watch how old Benton handles it. I forgot about this. This is fucking great.
Oh, I can film you. It's okay.
No, it's not.
Yeah,
I just said, oh, I can film you. It's okay.
it is.
I don't want it. I don't want it.
That has nothing to do with it.
So she said, I don't want that. And I said, that has nothing to do with it.
Yes, it is.
No, it's not, ma'am. You should probably study the law, ma'am. I'm a free American. I'm allowed to record in public. I don't know if you know that. Yes, I can. I'm doing it right now, in fact. Not only can I am. How about that?
Stop.
Wish it wasn't so windy. Ma'am, if you don't want to be recorded, you probably shouldn't be in front of my camera. You walked over here, ma'am. I was here first. Yeah. I don't know what the problem is. Oh, and there's cameras literally everywhere. There's cameras. Literally everywhere. Man, that was some loud yelling, brother.
Oh, yeah.
Damn it. What's going on?
Oh, no. Hurt.
Hurting?
Yeah.
What makes it stop hurting?
Ow. Stop hurting.
Did you go to the doctor and stuff?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's got like Charlie all the time.
You got to do what?
Charlie right here.
Oh, shit.
And scares me all the time.
Sorry, man.
But it's Charlie horses up around the chest right there.
Oh,
But
yeah.
it ain't a heart attack.
No?
It's just like a Charlie horse.
Pressure.
Yeah.
Oh, shit.
So I get scared. I say, help, help, help. They go away.
Oh, I see.
And if it helps,
Gotcha.
it goes away.
Right on, brother. But you're not bothering me. It was kind of interesting, the music and you yelling at the same time, though. That made for, I think I recorded a little bit of that. I don't know why they're leaving. I'm just recording. There's cameras everywhere. See that? Cameras in use. Why don't they like this camera, but they like that camera? I don't understand. You don't seem to mind. Well, I'll let you get back to work, brother.
All right,
Yeah. Take care.
Well, I think there's more videos, although not necessarily similar to that one, but there's some more IRL stuff. I managed to click off of the screen. Now I'm going to have to figure out how to get to the very end of the lists again. Did I run everybody off? Oh, 22 in the house. Fantastic. Well, and at the risk of sounding shitty, Jimbo says more people should do this. Well, Jimbo, if I may, at the risk of sounding arrogant, most folks would need several years of skills development in order to do what I just did there, if I do say so myself. So amongst the people able to do so, perhaps more of them not should do this, would or could do this, right? So yeah, that's something I could do more of. That's something that people who have the skill set could do more of. I have no way of knowing should the individual person do that, but I would certainly like to see. I enjoy those style of videos, but thank you. Yeah, candid camera, indeed. Yeah, and I think we need to watch that again because of how just the audio, the first time you can hear the music and like right about the time of his first yell, it's just, it's a thing of, okay, you hear the music first. Okay. And then I'm talking about the location. But then when the first time you faintly hear his yell, that's the key here in my view. So one more time.
All right, Benton here. Benton here. I'm at the Walmart in Jacksonville, Arkansas, which does happen to be, wow. Do you hear this guy yelling? I hate to laugh, but look at this scene.
And you know, just watching this back, like, is this real? Between the guy over here yelling, the proximity to a military base, Air Force base, this formulaic, what very well may actually be human trafficking, and then the black lady appearing seemingly out of nowhere in my physical space. Yeah, the time exactly, Jimbo. And the fact that I'm there capturing this with it's, you know, like, is this even real, man? Is this real? What's up, Rob? I got to see this again, man. There's no mental hospital, but yeah, fast boy. It's Arkansas. What's awesome, one of the things I love most about being an Arkansan and being from Arkansas is if y'all remember the 08-09 crisis, in the wake of all of that, and then, the spread of the promotion of austerity in Western Europe, especially with respect to Greece. Cyprus had their bail-in at some point in there. And I went off on a tangent. What's up? What's up, JFK Beta? Made man in the house. Good to see you, sir. I think I kind of lost my point halfway through my jag there. What the hell was I talking about? Oh, the mental hospital. So at a certain point, there was a year in which only 4 U.S. states not only did not run a budget deficit for the year, they in fact had more money left over than they started with for that year. One of them was Arkansas, which is literally every year because, yes, that man who's lays dying there, if he decides to go inside the Walmart and buy a gallon of milk, he's going to pay, I believe, 6.25% sales tax, somewhere very close to that. And Arkansas happily takes in tax money from po folks. Remember, 47th out of 50 for median household income. And then instead of taking that money and providing services, although debatably, I guess it's actually better for the state government to just have extra money than to disperse it through programs in which graft, by the way, shout out to graft, in which much, if not the bulk of it, at least half of it will be stolen by politicians and their cronies, right? And their people they're in with. So perhaps it's better that Arkansas taxes the man heavily and then does not then hand the money to politicians. Yeah, but what about food, Crumley? Does Tennessee have a grocery? I said gallon of milk, sir. So now I'm going to go in and see what we're doing. And I sound like I'm picking on you individually. I promise I'm not. What? Wait a minute. Does Tennessee have a grocery tax? Many states who have sales tax, such as Texas, do not have tax on grocery or, interestingly, ammunition or, interestingly, supplements in the state of Texas, while Arkansas taxes all three. Does Tennessee have? Well, maybe it does, Crumley. I don't believe you until I confirm it, although Tennessee sounds like the type of place that would do such a thing. Arkansas sales tax is close to 10%. It's less for groceries, right? So it's like, okay, we'll give them a break. So they give them like the 3 point, whatever that is, percent back, grocery tax. And they may very well have it. I'm sure Mississippi does. I don't know about Louisiana. Yes, sir, 4%. It says Tennessee's 4% food tax will be dropped. That must be some kind of tax holiday. Never mind. It says now there's a 3-month grocery tax holiday, but that's still the same as a grocery tax. This thing said 4%. So anyway, I'm glad to know that we're both kind of right. That always feels good. Yeah, everything. So the point I'm making is that the state of Arkansas, certainly, while it probably has a state mental hospital, that would be for, the actual criminally insane. So there is nowhere to put this fella, right? Also, I don't know that he would be diagnosed in Arkansas, lest we forget when and where I grew up. I went undiagnosed, thank God, if I do have undiagnosed autism, because nobody else got diagnosed with it either. In fact, I never heard the word, and most of the people would not have been able to spell it anyway. That's not material. That was my upbringing. Okay. One more time from the top. I got to hear this again. This is a thing of beauty on some level. It's an art that I was blessed to capture, but did not necessarily create completely.
I'm at the Walmart in Jacksonville, Arkansas, which does happen to be. Wow. Do you hear this guy yelling? I hate to laugh, but look at this scene. And normally I wouldn't film a couple like this that's doing this, but I'll tell you why we're doing it is because as a truck driver, I see this all over the country. A couple just like this with a sign like this. The part that's new about all this is that I've just now started seeing the violin. And I don't know, y'all aren't doing anything wrong. No problem. No problem. No policia. No policia. No policia. And this guy yelling help. They are kind of making it hard on him though, because you can't hear him over the music. Yeah. Yeah. I make a video, sir. You're in the video. I make a video. I see this everywhere. Who makes you do this? Is this human trafficking? No. I see this everywhere. Truck driver, drive truck. I see this everywhere I go. Yeah. Yeah, people like this everywhere. So is it human trafficking? Is someone making you do this? No. Who gets the money? Who gets the money? Well, he's not playing, but he's going to play a recording. Oh, I can film you. It's okay.
No, it's not.
Yeah, it is.
I don't want to.
That has nothing to do with it. No, it's not, ma'am. You should probably study the law, ma'am. I'm a free American. I'm allowed to record in public. I don't know if you know that. Yes, I can. I'm doing it right now, in fact. Not only can I am. How about that? Wish it wasn't so windy. Ma'am, if you don't want to be recorded, you probably shouldn't be in front of my camera. You walked over here, ma'am. I was here first. Yeah. I don't know what the problem is. Oh, and there's cameras literally everywhere. There's cameras. Literally everywhere. Man, that was some loud yelling, brother.
Oh, yeah.
Damn it. What's going on?
Oh, no. Hurt.
Hurting?
Yeah.
What makes it stop hurting?
Ow. Stop hurting.
Did you go to the doctor and stuff?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's got like Charlie all the time.
You got to do what?
Charlie right here.
Oh, shit.
And it scares me all the time.
Sorry, man.
But it's Charlie horses up around your chest right there.
Oh, yeah.
It ain't a heart attack.
No?
But it's just like a Charlie horse.
Pressure.
Yeah.
Oh, shit.
So I get scared. I say, help, help, help. And they go away.
Oh, I see.
And if it helps,
Gotcha.
it goes away.
Yeah, like a Cher playing
You're not bothering
Rocky
me.
Dennis's mother
It was
in
kind of
Mask
interesting, the music
would,
and you
like,
yelling at the
talk to
same
the-
time, though.
to the
That made
debilitating
for, I think I
headaches
recorded
and
a
make
little
them
bit of
go
that.
away.
I don't know why they're leaving. I didn't.
Same principle.
Recording. There's cameras
That he
everywhere.
share in
We're all-
Rocky
See that?
Dennis
Cameras in
simultaneously
use.
somehow.
Why don't they like this camera, but they like that camera? I don't understand. You don't seem to mind. Well, I'll let you get back to work, brother. Yeah. Take care.
Wild stuff, man. Okay, I know I've got something else, although I don't necessarily, some of these I don't really look that good as far as how I come across, but fuck it. Buy the ticket, take the ride, as it were. This one is pretty fucking wild. This is in Harrison, Arkansas, believe it or not, which is purported to be the most racist town in the country, so much so that all these YouTubers keep going there to make videos, although there's nowhere to go and nothing to do in Harrison, Arkansas. So if you ever watch those videos, each and every one of them, they always end up at the Walmart, like every fucking time. But yeah, here we go. This is back during the abortion, the baby killing, and pretty crazy. One of those words I hesitate to say here in Alphabet Google YouTube's hell pit, but then the other one I utter freely without compunction. Yeah, this is Harrison, Arkansas. These are some commies, some leftist communists protesting against. Thank you, Rob. Shout out to Rob. In fact, even after YouTube takes their haircut of your $777, you paid for today's Rayovac high energy 9-volt battery that goes in the mixer here as a part of my AirSats microphone setup. This thing here. But it's modular, so it can all be taken apart and actually put onto my rig that I use for, for this stuff. By the way, I'm using this equipment, while I'm talking to the commies here. Yeah, anyway, Harrison, Arkansas. Shout out to Mr. Cleveland here for his $7.77 super chat. Appreciate the fiat as we put more fiat also into the coffers of YouTube and the other entities mentioned. Anyway, play the clip, sir.
Arkansas and Oklahoma. And
Well, back when the Supreme Court was ruling on the baby killing, that's what I was trying to say.
Kansas and Kentucky. Well, no, wait, I haven't been to Kentucky lately. Forgot. Yep, here we are, Harrison, Arkansas.
That's a man, surely, right?
Some folks holding some signs.
Oh, Child Abuse
Just say
Prevention Month, but it's still under the auspices
Child Abuse
of
Prevention Month
of the court decision.
Yeah,
Sneaky commies.
we got this one. Bands off our bodies. We got my body, my choice. No sign.
What's up, Playboy?
Support Roe v. Wade. And in the filibuster. Y'all don't look like locals, but I'm not here to interview you, so
We are local.
I'm here.
Oh, okay.
25 years.
I own a home. I'm local.
Oh, I wasn't accusing you. I'm not from here. I'm from Pine Bluff.
What are you doing up here, man?
Wow, I
Yeah.
love. Oh, and for people who are not from Arkansas, in this context, Pine Bluff would constitute like loaded language, or it's coded, meaning I'm basically culturally identifying myself with blacks. And when I say that it's not necessarily the most racist town in the country, I mean, it does have that reputation for a reason. Like, black folks don't live up there. It's almost all white people. It's the type of people that move there are white people who don't want to live around blacks, whereas I don't want to live where it's only white people, right? Because I am half black culturally. So this if they're actually from that area, and if they've lived there 25 years, like that lady said, then they know what Pine Bluff in this context means. It means expletive referring to blacks, town. That word town. That's what Pine Bluff means. So I'm from, on some level, I represent something these people hate. But if they're actually lefties, now they might just be lying, and this might be pre-programmed for them to say this. I have no idea. But interesting dynamic. They do seem to respond. Although, and then it's like where are you from, dude? You know, like, okay, we've established that this is our territory. What are you doing on our territory? See, this is like gang. This is like we're set tripping now. Although I'm not claiming I'm GDI, goddamn independent, not a gangster disciple. No, GDI, goddamn independent. And then let's see. Oh, did I make them laugh at some point? Let's go back here. I did get a smile out of that one, apparently, that I wasn't aware of.
Support Roe v. Wade. In the filibuster.
See, I'm irresistible.
Y'all don't look like
level.
locals, but I'm not here to interview you, so
We are local.
See, I got a little, whatever this thing is, I got a little mirth out of it temporarily. Just based on my glib charm, as it were, or as it is.
Oh, okay.
25 years.
I own a home. I'm local.
Oh, I wasn't accusing
Check
you.
me out a little
I'm
bit.
not from here. I'm from Pine Bluff.
What are you doing up here, man?
Where? Here?
Huh?
What am I doing here?
Show me, don't
I
tell
said
me.
y'all don't look
G-Spot.
like locals, and how do we get from that to
yeah.
what am I doing
That's the
here?
gang.
Just out of curiosity.
I was mentioning that because I was making it clear that I wasn't local. Yeah, I wasn't. We weren't going on to what am I doing in my personal life. That's got nothing to do with it. I don't know. It's interesting though how quickly we jump from these don't look like locals to what are you doing here? Do you mean the country? Do you mean the realm? I don't know I don't know what you mean.
Which side are you on?
What side do you mean?
Exactly.
I don't know what you're saying. I can make you very happy and I can make you very angry. Fuck Trump, fuck Biden, fuck Ted Cruz, fuck Nancy Pelosi. All politicians are scum. That's what side I'm on. Get rid of all of them and get rid of everybody that replaces all of them, and we might have a chance. Yeah.
You fit in with us.
No, I wouldn't, because I hate Democrats. They're scum. I hate Republicans. They're scum. I don't fit in with nobody.
Gotcha.
Yeah. So whatever I do is all by myself. all the time. And it ain't nobody's business but mine. You know why? Because I'm a free American. And they don't let you do this in China, by the way. Ain't none of this in China. No, no, no. No, but America's bad. So I will go where I want to go and do what I want to do, and it ain't nobody's business.
Well, what are you going to do?
Woo-hoo. See, more questions. What are you going to do? Oh my God, we're so curious. What are you going to do? I'll tell you what I'm not going to do is stand around advocating for murdering babies, but I'm glad I live in a country where y'all are allowed to. I'm not going to join the communist revolution, but I'm glad I live in a country where if the people want to be communists, they get to be communists. It's called freedom.
Yeah, she wants to know my astrological sign. Yeah, she, he, whatever it was. Yeah, indeed, indeed. Anyway, so like I say, some of these I don't necessarily look that great, but that's just my life, I suppose. All right, fuck it. This is a lady who saw me filming. Croco used to make fun of me about this a lot, actually, which I feel some of it was unwarranted, but I think and I'll tell you why I believe this clip was misunderstood when it was presented on the old, it might have been EBT's Discord by then, was I think because a lot of these people who view what you're about to see, they view it through the lens of if they just effortlessly ended up in a conversation with a lady approximately my age that's some people may consider attractive, then I think they are looking at it as if they would be trying to somehow woo her when it's in fact the exact opposite. You know, and I'm the one who's, you know, she would be more interested potentially if there was an interest. I think she's some sort of undercover officer, honestly, or some kind of undercover agent based on her behavior. So, and that's another context that people miss in watching this clip is that while I am being arguably flirtatious or trying to be interesting or whatever you want to call it, I mean, you're about to see it, but that to me, I had a pretty strong read of some form of an agent, even if it's doesn't understand that it's necessarily acting as an agent, right? And this is downtown Little Rock, where the locals are not. It's not locals who go downtown. Like Arkansas is a culture where if there is a downtown of an actual city, people are not really going to want to go there. If they live downtown, they just want to go home, get out of there, get in and get out. And as we'll see, the title of this is California Lady in Little Rock. So she ain't even from here. But anyway, all of that aside, I'm just going to look however I look. I guess I don't have much control over that. What's done is done, right? And yeah, anyway, prepare yourselves. Wait a minute. Not yet. Yeah, pimp sessions. Benton. Oh, I could do some pimp sessions, but it's all dated game because I refused to text. Once it came around to the text, you know, are we being restreamed, by the way? I'm looking at the numbers, wondering if we're being restreamed. Yeah, Padna. I don't know if I drop a Padna or not. I wouldn't call her Padna, but although you never know, I wouldn't put it past me. Although low key, don't go there for this reason, but low key, if you happen to be in the area, downtown Little Rock, the River Market, not bad. And that's as somebody who's been to. One of my favorite things to do is go to a new downtown of a city and just wander around on foot. So I've done that many times in many cities. Anyway, share the screen, sir. And away we go. Well, time to head back, I reckon. Hey, there's Johnny Cash. Arkansas. There you see my setup, by the way, if you can see that in I got a headphones. I got the thing on top of my microphone. So with the boom mic, but it's got a dead cat on it in case the wind kicks up. And then it's that cage I may have showed before. So the cage actually connects to this handle, although I think I had a different handle at the time. And the cage holds the phone and keeps the phone secure. And it's really not, it looks like an elaborate thing. It's really not. Like, it's just, I bought the stuff on Amazon. It's not expensive. None of it's expensive. The phone and the mixer is the only single item. And then the $50, I think the mic was $50. You're looking at $25 of headphones, and everybody has a phone. I think the handle was like $8 at Walmart, like no more than $10. This is not. But people are still in this world mentally, especially the older folks, where this is like some big, like Croco was comparing it to like one of the old VHS recorders that you put over your shoulder. But it's really not. It's really nothing like that.
Was only music legend. Fuck Glenn Campbell.
Indeed, fuck Glenn Campbell.
Yeah, Arkansas's only music legend, Johnny Cash. What is that? The Boyle Building?
So she actually at some point walks past and sort of inserts herself, but without necessarily. I think she finally just asked me what I'm doing. I don't remember.
Cool.
But I'm sure I detect her pretty early on. Oh, I see.
Fuck Glenn
Yeah,
Campbell.
walking up ahead in front of me.
That's what I say about
Oh, and then I'm not even going to play this because I did. I was kind of on one, and I said some things where that lady might have misheard. She might have heard me, although she was going the other way. So I was feeling froggy here.
right when I was
I was saying some. Yeah, I don't even know what to say. I'm assuming I was intoxicated. So while that does work out sometimes, especially with my short with the mask, me going on and on about the mask. Sometimes some of the commentary. Sometimes the commentary of an intoxicated person. Thank God I'm not living this way anymore. That's all I can say.
Yeah, there's the flying
Flying saucer. I used to go in there back in the days when I could still drink beer.
You need to get me some kind of, I don't know, whatever. Doesn't matter. Tell you what, we're walking back in the shade as much as possible. This is no bueno.
Now she starts hanging back.
There's a lot of foot traffic
from that other guy she was walking side by side with, which seems strange to me.
Always a possibility of somebody.
Doesn't that imply some sort of relationship or that they know one another? What do y'all think? See, I haven't seen this in so long. I've forgotten how this was. Even this is kind of strange.
Let me get back down there.
Maybe they just didn't want me behind them anymore, which I appreciate. I do that too.
What are you up to?
She said, "What are you up to?" Yeah, let y'all hear this. So she actually engaged me in conversation. So, and I had stopped talking as much, but certainly they had heard me. Presumably they passed me as I was filming the Johnny Cash stuff. And this, I believe, is where if you press the button to cross, this is William Jefferson Clinton Boulevard. Although once you leave downtown, it turns back into Markham, which is what it was before. And it'll say, wait to cross, President Clinton Boulevard or whatever. And then I like to say, oh, you don't want to do that. A lot of people that do that end up, passing away unexpectedly and unexplainedly. The Clinton, body count or whatever they call it.
What are you up to?
And then I like the men. See, this is another thing back when I was doing the podcast about dating and relationships. Is, when she says, "What are you doing?" and I just don't respond, then now it introduces tension into the dynamic. So if you observe, I've observed these dynamics, especially with, dating relationships, so-called mating rituals between men and women, that, the woman will generally have no problem dealing with the tension if she's the one that's injected it, or at least, involved in it. But they will generally try to put it on the other person, the male, to then relieve the tension. And you see this guy's now non-verbally pressuring me to answer and thus relieve the tension that he and also this person up here waiting to cross may very well be experiencing. And I have another example of that if y'all can remind me. It was a pretty good story from a grocery store that's it's now closed, the Fresh Market on Milpas. Shout out to east side of Santa Barbara, my favorite side of Santa Barbara, the city limits of Santa Barbara. Well, you don't want to go too far east, then you might end up accidentally getting, something. You might accidentally end up on Oprah's property And Lord only knows what would happen to one after that. Bizarro.
What are you up to? Oh, no, no.
What the fuck? Oh, you can see me. There's my camera stuff. So what are you up to? This is what I look like if you can see me. So I don't know. I don't know, lady. You tell me. What am I up to? I don't know. I'm going fly fishing.
No. What are you doing?
About what?
I don't know. You're walking around doing a documentary downtown.
Kind of answered your own question. Yeah, I suppose that's part of what I'm doing.
Where are you from?
From California.
Oh, I got Californians here asking a local what he's doing.
And remember, I am
Okay.
on one to a certain extent. Certainly, I'm fueled up and already kind of getting into my own public discourse. So I think if I had the same vibe as the Walmart in Jacksonville, this could have not that it turned out the way it turned out perfectly fine, but this could have gone differently until the end. Yeah, diving for treasure.
When I was
Indeed,
in California,
indeed,
hey,
Christos.
I've spent a lot of time in California. The one thing I never did.
What do they call that? There's something bell. Is it just Diver's bell? People are fascinating. I agree, G-Spot. And I don't know if you know this about me, G-Spot. I, in fact, am homeless. Shout out to JG. But I lived in the streets for damn near an entire decade, lived out of a backpack, traveled the whole country. And at one stretch, except for a few nights indoors here and there because of weather, I slept outside, or so-called slept rough, as the people in the UK would call it, for 6 consecutive years, including 2 winters, although not actual winters, one being in Arkansas, Fayetteville, Arkansas, and the other was in Austin, Texas. Although it was 0 degrees Fahrenheit one morning when I awakened in my tent thank God it was on a wooden platform, just barely on private property that I had permission to camp on. One of the rare times that occurred in my ongoing spate of homelessness.
Okay. When I was in California, hey, I've spent a lot of time in California. The one thing I never did was ask the locals what they were doing. To me,
True.
It seemed obvious what they were doing.
Well, no, you could
At any time.
Well, and then the no, the dismissal of everything I just said, that's all valid, right? I understand the part where she's doesn't find it. I am tough as nails. Thanks, G-Spot. Well, here's the thing, G-Spot, is let's just say that she was, because look, she's obviously not going to pass muster with me, but let's just say this woman could meet the minimum threshold physically, then she needs to know that I am this way. Like, this is how I am. And any woman that's going to spend time with me, I'm not going to explain that to her, but I'm certainly going to make sure that it's demonstrated in her presence, so that if she chooses to continue to engage in, like a one-on-one or some sort of, early stages of what could become some sort of romance, as much as I don't even like to think in those terms, like, I'm going to be this way throughout the totality of it. Right. So why would I? And then number 2, if that's the case, then I'm going to want to pre-select for women who understand that this is how I am, and actually probably prefer it on some level. Right. Get them, Christos. I don't have time to read that right now, but I'm kind of lost in my own sauce.
But again, remember, this is still something.
Well, now she's just, but again, like, and here's another thing, by the way, since now we're just dropping game. Okay. Yeah. Dropping hating on a young cat for am I doing that? Or are you doing that? I don't know. See, I'm behind. That's what Krista, well, please carry on. I have no problem with that, sir. We'll give you we'll give you enough leash. Hopefully not enough to hang yourself, right? But not leash. I don't mean that. I'm speaking in, like, give them enough rope. But yeah, I don't mean leash. So here's another thing is there's a dynamic going on, and you may hear, if you guys have studied any game, and it's been so long for me that I haven't kept up with the progression of it. But before YouTube and before content creators making channels talking about all this, the MGTOW and the how to get broads and all this stuff, that was mostly conducted on message boards, and I was one of the people involved in those discussions. And I did write some of the literature that it then has, gone on and grown into whatever it is now. And at a certain point, I realized that, well, this is just, it's almost like once I learned it and was able to apply it, I realized just how horrible it is to be that way as a man, right? Like, why would I even want to do that? Why would I want to be involved in these dynamics? I have no desire to be involved in these dynamics, but a lot of control and possessiveness, right? But I just know the game, and I've practiced it to where I'm going to control the frame in our interaction, no matter what happens. So if I say things that sound rude, well, number one, I'm a direct communicator. So what I would say is, and I did used to at times receive money for talking to guys on the phone, and a lot of just giving them like what would be referred to as inner game. And then I would also do custom podcasts. So if somebody would send me money, and this didn't happen a lot, but it did happen. And I did a podcast right about 2011 about all this stuff. But again, it's all dated because I never had any interest in the texting side of. I had no desire to text with a lady, right? And I can't bring you up right now, G, because I'm on a roll. But we'll have you up soon if you're patient, sir. If you're patient, I just have to, since I'm gone on to this topic, I have to bring it around and land the plane. And with the hypervigilance, I have trouble talking when there's somebody on the panel for some reason. But you're welcome to come back up in a moment, sir. Certainly. So I'm going to control the frame no matter what. And I already know, because I saw her backside, that I have absolutely no interest in this lady. I am kind of curious to see. I'm getting information from her, right? And then, so when I say that, the reality is people say no more games. Well, all women play games by default. Meanwhile, I'm only talking about the male perspective of dating women. The fact that men may or may not do that as well, that's not my concern in this area. I'm only it's a one-way equations here. So we're not inviting the ladies into the discussion. They're more than welcome to listen, but their perspective will not be sought. And why is that? Because unless they're lesbians, they have no experience dealing with women in a romantic context. Thus, they have no idea what they're talking about and can only lead you astray, fellas. And again, this is not advice. I'm actually just breaking down game that I've understood for quite some time. So what will happen is when I say all women play games by default in this context, and again, there's always exceptions to everything, and I am speaking generally, and I always reserve the right to do so. But what happens is that what she's going to try to do is get my life story. She wants as much information about me because she probably is interested on some level. So just some level of attraction there. Or is a government agent and just wants to talk to me and is very good at behaving as if she's interested. Meanwhile, and all of this can be happening at once. And meanwhile, this is all being recorded. We all have phones. It's all going directly into the databases, right? So we're all performing to some extent in that environment downtown. And I think we all know that on some level, whether it's in our conscious minds or not. So what will happen here is that I already know now we're into the poker game segment where she wants to find out as much about my holdings as possible. I don't care about her holdings because I know she's below the minimum standard. And I'm not the type to try to use her for whatever her resources are. I'm just not into that, right? We're not trying to go gigolo here. So I'm not going to put a lot of effort into this, but I'm also not going to appear like a bitch, by just answering her questions. Why would I, by the way? And also understanding that regardless of her intentions, I'm announcing information into the environment that otherwise may not be provided. I would then be providing information to the authorities. If you say never talk to the cops, well, if you're downtown, if one is downtown where everything being spoken and everything being done physically is being recorded, most likely permanently, then I don't have the luxury, arguably, of speaking all of this information if I want to conceal it, right?
Something of a free state, Arkansas is.
Yeah.
Because I don't go anywhere without a pistol. 100% of the time, I got a pistol on me.
See, the Californians hate this shit. See, I'm actually tailoring what I'm saying to her based on her being from California. I do this like when people from Illinois come to Arkansas, because I know Illinois has some strange gun laws, and I make it known, oh, we love our guns down here. And some people are like, oh yeah, it's part of why we came here. It's part of why we moved here. I'm like, fuck yeah, I just want them to know.
But again, remember,
news.
This is
Project.
this is still something of a free state. Arkansas is.
Yeah.
'Cause you know I don't go anywhere without a pistol. 100% of the time I got a pistol on me. I'm not kidding. You can't do that in California.
Nope.
Not they don't permit it. Is this your fella?
No.
Okay, good.
So I said, is that your fella? Because see, he's still hanging around, but remember they was walking side by side earlier. So this is where I'd say some version of, well, if that's your fella, you know, like I pretty much at this point, I don't feel like I can continue the conversation. Or at least got to go meet him, you know, because in the culture I was socialized in, if I'm with my woman and you're a dude and you come up and talk, you want to talk to her, you got to talk to me first. And if you don't greet me or say something to me, it ain't gonna be too long before I'm just gonna cut you off and be like, all right, we got to go. See you, partner. You know, it's some version of that. Like, so I do that to this day. I'm going to address, if I'm going to address the female, I'm going to do that. I'm going to address the male first. See, well, I guess they call that misogyny now. I was raised that way, so I don't know what to tell you.
Because I don't let women walk with me if they got a fella.
Did you hear what I said?
See, we're old time.
Did you hear what I said?
See, if I want,
I got to go back. I got to go back.
I got a pistol on me. I'm not kidding.
See,
You
this
can't
is
do
a
that in
privilege that she's getting to walk with me. I don't get nothing out of walking with her. And then if she considers me attractive, and if there's other ladies in the area, she actually can gain something from being seen with me potentially, right? Like there's a lot of dynamics at play. Or maybe that is a guy that, yeah, that's not her fella because now they've broken up, but then for some reason he's hanging out, you know, doing the you know, dick in a glass jar thing, right? Break in case of need some emergency dick, break glass, right? Maybe that's what he's functioning as. And then she's just sort of digging the knife in and twisting it, you know. Like there's a lot of dynamics at play potentially here.
This is still something of a free state.
And where are these dogs?
Yeah.
Because you know I don't go anywhere without a pistol.
Oh, there's a homeless dude with a dog behind us too. Oh, I actually get a little aggressive with this guy verbally. This is, yeah. See, I don't look that good overall in this one. I don't know that I can blame the booze necessarily, but
At the time I got a pistol on me. I'm not kidding. You can't do that in California. They don't.
she's against it anyway. Imagine moving to Arkansas and being against fucking gun ownership.
Is this your fella?
No.
Okay, good.
No.
Because I don't let women walk with me if they got a fella. See, we're old timey. See, if I wanted to talk to a woman in Arkansas, and if she was with her man, I wouldn't talk to the woman. I'd talk to the man first.
Oh, that is old timey.
We're old timey. I was born in 1975 in Pine Bluff, and it might as well have been 1955. It was old timey, and I don't never get close enough that a dog.
Yeah, this homeless guy and his dog, man. Fucking dog. They taught me as a kid, don't get close enough to the dog for that it could bite you, and I practiced that. So it's actually I wasn't paying attention, and the dog entered my space. It could have bit me.
Bite me. No offense, but I don't.
And now
I don't
he's
go
mad because I talk shit about the dog.
within range of a dog.
Don't do that.
Oh, I'll do whatever.
Hey, look,
Now I'm being
don't do
told
that.
what to do by the homeless.
Don't come over here,
I
sir.
don't care. You
Don't come over here.
Hey,
Don't come
take
over
pictures.
here.
Take care of that camera.
Don't come over
Oh,
here.
and by the way, there's a police substation. They will absolutely come hook this dude up and take him to jail. 100%. They don't give a fuck.
Turn the camera off.
Don't come over here. Don't come over here. Do not come over here.
He's going to call the cops. He's calling the cops.
Do not come over here.
I'm LARPing as a stand-up, a stand-up member of society here, sir. Unlike you. Meanwhile, I am homeless.
Do not come over here, sir. Everything you do out here is recorded,
Well, I wonder if he's from here.
sir. So why do you care about this one? Doesn't make any sense.
I do it on purpose. Meanwhile, I didn't know the guy was there. Crazy. Anyway. Yeah, that one maybe not quite as good. I did enjoy the dynamic. And I do, by the end of it, my read of the lady was that she was, in fact, almost entirely attempting to get information from me for whatever reason, whether she was an actual agent or merely functioning as one unknowingly. But by the end, that was my read. And then, of course, the way I'm interacting with the homeless person, we can't, she certainly, as a good communist, she certainly couldn't be seen in downtown Little Rock, Arkansas, with someone such as myself who will just, behave in ways that could be construed as mistreating the homeless. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, mean old Benton out there harassing the mentally ill, right? Meanwhile, if I'd have held my dog back, see, but I think probably he panhandles. See, I never thought about this because I don't give a fuck really, but probably that's how he panhandles. Is that the dog kind of goes out there and like a nice lady like that's walking down the street with some fucking asshole like me. By the way, I don't. You think that's a coincidence? At least, even if only temporarily, but you know. And then so the dog comes out, and then the person might want to pet the dog, and then, you know, maybe give a donation. So yeah, he's probably just panhandling. My attentions were diverted. I don't know that we have anything else too interesting in the back catalog, although I do have a CBO directory, and I've got a gang of screenshots. It can be fun to go through old screenshots. Have you folks ever done this where you make screenshots on your computer of various headlines over time, and fast forward 3 years, and maybe we'll go see how ridiculous some of this stuff is. But I want to see if there's, real quick, if I have enough time, I'll try to see if I can sort through and see if there's anything embarrassing to yours truly. Although, but after that last clip, I mean, surely we've crossed the threshold of misery, a term from gambling, by the way, that applied to this situation. You know, this scenario would be perhaps we've exceeded the threshold of misery with respect to me embarrassing, arguably embarrassing myself publicly. But then again, a cult trained me from a very young age to be desensitized from appearing strange in public. And certainly I would have had a little bit of alcohol in me, probably not too much if I was behaving that way. It's interesting that the more intoxicated, I would be a little more cognizant of doing something that could be, that the policy enforcers could try to say was disorderly conduct. Now, with the mask stuff, I think at that point it was just like, well, I've either got a First Amendment or I don't. We're about to, I more or less was pushing the locals to at least continue to pretend like I'm allowed to speak freely. Even as I would contend, free speech was alive that day in Little Rock, Arkansas, when I did the mask stuff. We might get into some of that. I know Yurt was asking for it. So, yeah. Well, that guy's on meth, but, among other things. But, I mean, I don't do whatever, and it's not my concern. It's the behavior. Like I've said to people before, somebody could be on meth and behave completely fine, and I could be on absolutely nothing and just be behaving inappropriately and, on 10 different levels simultaneously. I don't know that the substance itself may not necessarily be the overriding factor there. But yeah, let me find these screenshots. I think they're in yes, they are. What I have to do is date modified. Yeah. Oh, that's not them. I bet they're on. Yeah, here we go. I think I'll put them in a separate directory is what happened. Give me a moment. I bet they're in this. Nope. Yeah, save everything, find nothing. That's old Benton for you. Bear with me, folks. We're looking through some old files. That's my computer. Tries to crash. Okay, clearly not in this directory. Scintillating content, to be sure. Then I have a bunch of articles, like probably thousands of news articles that I saved to my hard drive in PDF. But the browser plugin I used to do it at a certain point, it's almost like the websites themselves were intentionally making the format not come out right. So when I click on them, you got like these red lines. Let me see. Does this one? Yeah, some of them work though. So I got news articles from 2020, like a bunch, like a gang of news articles. So if you'll bear with me, I'll find something worth perusing. I know I found the screenshots. There was like 500 of them. Might have to go to something else. In the mean, oh, this has got 80. So maybe this is it. And then there's more somewhere else. Where would I have put these things? All right. Anyway, roll with what we got. Was that an El Perro screenshot? Maybe these aren't as old as I thought. Oh, this is recent. Okay. What up, John Wayne? Little Rock has an interesting Baphomet sculpture. Where's that? I've missed that. To my memory, but I'm not in any way saying that you're wrong. And then I have a whole bunch of videos that I downloaded when my foot was broken from some like alternative sites. I don't know if that means anything. Some diverse some diverse alternative sites that I was turned on to by, I believe, obscenity, if I recall correctly. Hey, let's watch an old D Live with me and Drew. I think I have at least one that actually has the video, although I don't believe we were on cam yet back then. Yeah, I think this one. No, that can't be it. That's not long enough. It'd have to be a big file. This might be it. Let's do this. Good Lord, man. Do something.
Hey, I definitely disagree with that, though. I think they're people. The whole NPC thing is just like a good way to kind of like feel good about like the fact that you think like different about things.
It does feel pretty good. I'm not gonna lie.
It totally does. Yeah.
I believe in NPC theory 100% at this point.
There's no way it's not real.
Yeah.
Like, just drive around and just look at, like, go into the fucking grocery store and just look at people like, hey, go ask them like, hey, what are you wearing that thing on your face for? And they have no answer for it.
Yeah, I know, but I think it's just a good way of like telling yourself that you're right, kind of thing.
We are right.
You know.
Drew said we are right.
Like it's like people are tangible, right?
Kind of.
Yeah, like you can talk to them, you can like touch them and stuff. Well, you can't do real talk with them, but it's like they don't know you, you know.
They're not. I think they're not real people, man.
I don't think they are. I don't buy it.
No fucking way. You think the whole world just went along with this thing, the compliance of it?
What's going on with this? Oh, yeah, he's NPC now.
Yeah, I think someone else controls this world, and the people here are real, right? Like they adhere to like.
Yeah, but are they real? Are they real if they don't even have an inner dialogue inside their own mind?
Yeah, but it's like they do though, right? Like
well, the science says that 80% of people don't have an inner dialogue.
I mean, how can you prove that, right? Is that proven?
Right. Well, right. How can you prove that they're real?
I know, but I said though, it's like they're tangible. You know, like their existence is here with me, right? Like if
I believe that's a TBE's lady in the lower left corner. I'm not exactly sure, but I believe it is. This is Drew in the upper middle. It's Jackson that's been talking the most, and I'm not sure who. I'm sure I know the voices, but not sure which icon is which.
If I beat them up, like I got their blood on my hands, so to speak.
That's Beavy talking. Beavy. He's the guy that that arguably looked bad in these gun debates, and in fact, Me and him talked about guns when I was driving the truck on live a while back. If anybody remembers that, that's a deep cut, right? The lore, as it were.
The Bible says my people are destroyed for a lack of knowledge.
I think that's tinfoil.
Wait, honestly though, it's like,
And that's
TBD.
right.
That's
right.
They're not real.
That's
How can, how can you prove they're not real?
Yes.
I don't know. How can you prove they are real?
Yeah,
Like,
exactly.
That must be TBE with in the purple background.
Just because you can touch them doesn't mean that they're fucking real. Doesn't mean they have a soul. Like, prove a cow has a soul.
No, dude, that's crazy talk, dude. Cows don't have souls, bro. They're organic NPCs, bro. They're organic NPCs, bro.
They're sacred. Get Ralph.
Who's sacred? Where's Ralph? I don't want Ralph.
Ralph's too wholesome for us.
Yeah, Ralph. You know.
All right, hey,
Ralph's too school teacher for
Jackson. I'm on the D Live now. I want to talk about NPC pussy versus truther pussy.
Dude, give me NPC pussy all day long.
Yeah, why?
Because they don't give a fuck.
About what?
It's like, I don't know. Like, I feel like truther bitches are like, they think too much.
They catch on to your shit or what?
Well, maybe, but I guess. But maybe, I think it's more like they're like more self conscious, and they're just like they're like more inhibited.
Which one has more anal? That's the real question.
I don't know. I'm not a sodomite, so
Sounds like something a sodomite would say.
probably that's the only. If I was a sodomite, I feel like I'd say the same thing. So
yeah, if you're whoring out, yeah, you're definitely a sodomite.
Does that include sex out of wedlock?
Hey, man.
I thought sodomy was just fucking people in the ass.
I mean, that's the technical definition, but I think.
Okay, just we're being technical. That's all.
Well, I think
So, no, you're not getting blowjobs. Blowjobs is sodomy too.
Oh, I'm definitely all right. Fine, I'm out then. Whatever.
Jackson's a
You're
sodomite.
filthy just like the rest of us. Okay.
I'm gonna argue with that.
I want to hear the difference between these women because Jackson's got all the full stable.
I don't know, man. I just think that I don't know. I mean, it can work both ways, I guess. But I mean, it's also like a smaller sample size with truther women too, so it's like hard to really compare.
Hey Jackson, what do you think about the Rockefellers? Imagine that bedside talk, eh? Oh my god. Hey Jackson, what about the Rothschilds? Are they more up than the Rockefellers or the Carnegies? Okay.
I don't know. That's not just pretending to be asleep. I feel like.
Hey Jackson, what do you think about flu ride? What do you think about flu ride, bro?
Is that like is that a ride for COVID or something?
I'm doing something. Hey, yeah, I'm thinking about using diatomaceous earth for my pussy. What do you think?
There's probably chicks out there doing that.
I don't know, I'm sure there is. I wonder what that's like now. I'm curious.
Yeah, I was using apple cider vinegar beforehand, but it's
Hey, they do that. They do that. They call that the snapback. They get in the tub with the vinegar in there, and it's supposed to snap their pussy back like tighter.
It's kind of like an ingrown toenail. You know, you got the tool, and then it once the soft, heavy bath you get out of there, the toe goes back. You know. Hey Jackson, what do you think about NPCs? I heard this on a forum.
He is one.
Yeah. I mean, I might be. I can't
Dude, what is it? What does a truth or argument sound like in a relationship?
No, I'm just saying, like, I feel like those women are like a lot more sensitive. I mean, they're all sensitive, but like, it's like I don't know how to explain it. It's just like a freaking yeah. I don't know.
It's just like a yeah. You're saying the truther is more sensitive?
Well, yeah. I mean, like they generally have like I feel like they have like a higher like morality or they're not just I don't know. It's kind of weird. They're like more likely to walk away if you just treat them like shit, which kind of defeats the purpose.
That's how Jackson keeps them around. Treat them like dirt. They stick like mud.
I get them to leave, man. I mean, that's no, and it's not even really intentional. It's like I don't know. I need to write a book about this at some point, but
yeah. Can you real quick? Can the chat? Can you guys still hear me? Let me make sure you guys can hear me because they said I was echoey. I don't know if what I did fixed it or not, but now they might not be able to hear me. I don't know the difference between NPC and
maybe there's not. Maybe it's just placebo.
Could be.
Maybe it's in my head. Maybe like I feel like I have to like I don't know.
I don't know. I've switched videos, but do I need to go back to that? It sounded like it was getting a little interesting. I'll wait a minute and see if the chat wants to go back to Jackson talking about broads. Then here we have a one of Drew's lives. This is called Drew reacts to Benton reacts to CBO on D Live on Nightmare Dystopia. You got that? Drew reacts. Let me type this in as a banner. Hang on. And while we're doing that, if y'all really want to continue hearing what Jackson was saying, I'll go back to it. All right, I see no comments. Nobody's voting for Jackson. Well, well played, chat. You have excellent taste, to be sure. So here we go. Without further ado, let's change the banner. Indeed, Drew reacts to Benton reacts to CBO on D Live on Nightmare Dystopia. This was on. This was streamed live. Probably on Get Chalked Up, but who knows? It could have gone either way at the time, from what I'm remembering. Although that's my memory. Those are my memories. All right. Click the right buttons. At some point, it is watching an old man. At some point, you're merely watching an old man operate a computer. But yes. Here we go.
Yo, what up? It's your boy Drew.
And I think he speeds me up, so we will have to play this in 1x. We have no option.
Checking out that Drew World Order live. Took a little bit of time off. Give you a little channel update quick while everyone's still roaming in here. My old computer took a dump on me, man. Dead motherboard. So I've been in the process of setting up the new computer, transferring the files. Like, luckily the hard drive was still good. And so I was able to salvage everything pretty much, but it's just the setting everything up on the new one, you know what I mean? And getting all your settings just right. And so that's where I've been. Tonight, though, let's get into, or today, it's the afternoon. Our boy Benton, man. Our boy Benton put up a podcast. So if you don't know Benton, man, if you remember Benton, he's the trucker. He was over the mask. Well, he's got his own website called nightmaredystopia.com, where he does a podcast that's a direct download MP3. And so the last one he did was about an episode we did on D Live. So I need you to make sure you go follow me on D Live, follow me on the backup channel, because my channel was getting strikes on YouTube. So the kind of stuff that you can't talk about on YouTube, I just take that and talk about it on D Live. So make sure you follow me there. And what happens on D Live stays on D Live, because I'm not going to back these up or anything. Unless if there's like a home run segment or something, maybe I'll just go screen record it and bring it over to YouTube or something. Backup channel too, I got plans for that. I just haven't been able to really do anything lately. My computer was on the fritz, but I should be good now. So yeah, make sure always just go to chalkbodyline.com. It brings you to this link tree. If you want to support the channel, I got some new merch up here and some of the same old ones. You could cop these, that would help. And if you're able, you could give a small donation in the super chat or the PayPal down here on the bottom of the link. That's what helps me with like when I have to repair the whole computer. It was just insalvageable, basically. That's why I don't get when some people are like, wow, why do you monetize and stuff? You know, it costs money to do this. And at the same time, YouTube makes all the money. Why should YouTube get 100% of the money? I want to shout out to the chat. Vito Corleone says JL for life. Man, he's been on fire lately. Our boy Jurassic. Ancient Ways, Modern Graves. You're a big part of today's show. So hopefully we get to hear from you.
Ancient Waves, Modern Graves
possibly.
is TBE.
See Davey Crocco, what's good?
Toilet
Terry
Bowl
Miller,
Earth,
A.
aka
Thomas.
Tinfoil, also known as Ancient
Stark
Waves,
Origins
Modern
Bitcoin
Graves.
reached 50K. Yeah, I saw that. I sold mine at like 38, and I was like, but whatever. No regrets.
Another brief
Good
cat coin
afternoon,
discussion.
Chantel and L. But let's go, man. So you go
Yeah, let's go.
you go to nightmaredystopia.com, and he's got the direct download.
By the way,
links,
shout out
right?
to Jimbo
So you
Khan
click it,
saying this is how he found my website.
and like
As you and many
a player
folks.
pops up. Well, because number one, he plays copyright songs, and also because, like I said, my channel's getting.
When YouTube says like 852 different people, engage with my content as far as unique users or IP addresses or whatever, in the same time frame on my podcast, it would have been like 5,000 unique users, maybe a little more. But I have the screenshots somewhere of all that, or I have the entire website backed up. What's up, Ms. Blanche? Good to see you.
Strikes and everything. So there's a certain things that you can't really talk about here. What I did is I went and I downloaded the episode. I brought it into my Ableton Live, and I clipped out anything that, these words the algorithm is scanning for and stuff like that. But so unfortunately, a lot of
censorship was insane at the time.
Cut out
on YouTube, which is
one
of the many reasons I started my own podcast on my own website.
So it is what it
But
is.
he had to go edit because I was able to speak freely
And I got
on my
Ableton
podcast, but then he could say almost nothing on YouTube at the time
for that one.
about the fake
And now I got the
pandemic.
new computer.
I mean,
to run
almost
it.
nothing. It was
Also got a
wild. If
new-
anybody remember
any
those
audio
days.
heads in here, I got the new version of Equator, the Rolly Seaboard Equator synth. I got the new.
All right,
version
I
of
do
that
enjoy
too,
the
so
audio
I'm hyped to
production
start
talk.
doing more
but
music.
Let's go, man.
Roadhog said I sold mine at 30 codes for anyone.
D-Live, it used to look like
But
like
hit
shit,
them
but it
replays,
just worked, man, for me.
and right
Worked
now
great.
there's two other ones, and I wasn't able to make new.
D-Live live stream. Shout
Did
out
he not
to
speed this up?
Chalk Body
We're
Outline.
going to speed it up.
Shout out to the horrible bastards of the Chalk Body Outline Discord.
That's us. A
recent D-Live.
Oh, whoops. See, when you reset the computer or have a whole fresh computer, you're supposed to hit Control Spacebar and you're able to start wherever you want. That's not working for some reason.
The horrible bastards of the Chalk Body Outline Discord. So this stream is called Truther Girls versus Normie Girls, and this was published February the 13th of 2021. And I do believe that Drew World Order archives all of his videos over at BitChute, because this live stream will disappear from D-Live within a few days. So I have some clips I'd like to play. Let's just go ahead and jump right in. Oh, also,
and again, like I said, from the ones I do on D-Live now on, it's just going to be what happens on D-Live stays on D-Live. So either see it or you don't.
if Drew happens to hear this and does not want me using his content in the future, all he's got to do is email me, and I will cease and desist. But what's the?
It's all good. And so kind of goes into a harsh cut right there, because there was a long segment where he played from the show where we're talking about all those specific things that the YouTube algorithm is looking for. So unfortunately, you miss out a lot of that, but that's a good excuse for me to send you to his website, nightmaredystopia.com. You can hear the full thing unedited, or go to the D-Live while that other one's still up and hear that whole chat unedited. So it kind of cuts, and I'm sorry about that, but got to avoid these censors, man.
Well, what's the death game? What's that really doing for?
I think that they're evening it out, the amount of people that are like.
It's like bookkeeping. They're like, okay, so we need to kill just this amount of people, not everybody. Just because they level out our books here.
Let me jump in, and that's Mr. Tinfoil Straightjacket, one of my most ardent critics.
Now these guys are like oil and water. If you remember Tinfoil, he was the one on the stream I did where everyone thought he was RT or Russian Vids. I mean, they thought he was Russian Vids, and promise he's not. Like, he showed his face and everything. That's Tinfoil. So those guys just don't mix for whatever reason. It's not really a big deal, but let's just keep going, I guess.
By the way, so much so that he followed me over to the Davey Crocco's Discord after I spiraled for 15 hours and left the Chalk Body Outline Discord. And I do have a clip that I'll play in a moment where that was referenced in this live stream of Chalk Body Outlines.
See, Ben likes to talk. He admits he likes to talk.
15-hour spiral.
Especially because he's very self-aware of it.
By the way, so much so that he...
Man, this cursor thing's going to mess with me today. Why does it do this? Sorry. Hold on a second. Let me see if I can figure this out quick. supposed to be able to click this cursor anywhere I want and then control spacebar and it goes, but it keeps going back. I'll look that up while this is talking, I guess.
The Chalk Body Outline Discord. And I do have a clip that I'll play in a moment where that was referenced in this live stream of Chalk Body Outlines. Well, Mr. Tinfoil, you seem to be falling victim to black and white thinking, or black or white thinking, which sometimes binary thinking, everything's a 0 or a 1. Sometimes that is helpful. However, this is not how logic works. It's not one thing. It's many, many things all at the same time. It's like a web or a mesh. It's many layers. It's multifaceted. So this is a logical fallacy on Mr. Tinfoil's part to say, oh, well, what's the end game here? They, and when I say they, I mean Satan or the satanic beast system. Oh,
Pretty wants to hear Benton auto-tuned. I do think that would be pretty funny. Let's troll him here for a second.
Oh, so does the satanic beast system want to kill everybody? And then what does the satanic beast system get out of that? No, I don't know that what we're currently seeing, that's obvious.
That's funny, dude. Let me get it out of him before he shows up at my house. Gotta put it back on me. There we go. Get that G-snap out. And again, there's some quick jump cuts because he's saying the words that the algorithms jump for. But I mean, we all know what it is at this point, right? So shout out to everyone in the chat, man.
What we're currently seeing, that's obvious. And in fact, I've been reading articles for years about how middle-aged white folks are dropping dead at. So I guess I'm very annoyed when these so-called truthers, they think that it's somehow valid to just use negation to deal with an idea. And that's also ridicule, by the way, which is straight out of the Saul Alinsky Rules for Radicals lefty playbook, just so you know. When faced with an idea that he doesn't like, what does he do? He uses ridicule and magnifies it and takes the idea to an absurd, he inflates the idea to an absurd degree in order to make it appear ridiculous, and then asks a question much like a child. So I guess I get confused when some of these so-called truthers think that they're using logic, but that's not logical. Just saying that's.
So I know a lot of you guys got no power. You're cold. That's why we're here with Benton tonight. We're gonna keep the ladies warm. Benton's voice, keeping them hot, man. So Benton has a very, strong personality, and he likes to, just like me too. We both like to try to bounce our ideas off and like the discourse of it to try to make sure your ideas hold weight and everything like that. So I kind of lost my spot here. My bad. Give me 1 second, but I did fix that issue with the cursor.
White folks are idea that he doesn't like. What does he do? He uses ridicule. Think that they're using logic, but that's not logical. To first make the idea appear absurd, and then say, well, what does the beast system get out of killing some portion of the populace? And then now Tinfoil's implying that it's just everybody's going to be killed. But then I believe he himself later in the stream, I'm pretty sure that he references the Georgia Guidestones, which I do believe talks about bringing the world population from whatever it is currently, purportedly over 7 billion, bringing that down to, I see you, Tinfoil. This is not how logic works. You're not able to just negate reality with such simple ideas. It just doesn't work that way. And it makes you look stupid. Now, I know you're not stupid, but it makes Tinfoil look stupid. Now, most likely he's trolling or pretending to be dumb. Most likely. I can't say for sure. Okay, back to the clip.
So hold on before we go back. This guy was so triggered or something. I don't even think he was triggered. You want to talk about a niche podcast? He has a podcast about my Discord. Now that's a niche, so he's got to know his audience, right? He's got to just hammer it right between the eyes here. So let's go back to the clip here, man.
Dude, no, listen to me. It's quite obvious. It's like the power is with the people because we have numbers. So if the slaves no longer have numbers over them, then we can't fucking vote against them.
That does make sense on one level, Jackson, but the power is not with the people because the people are not on the same page, and the people are not revolting. That was Jackson talking. It's not going to happen, sir. I would assert that what we've seen is that this beast system absolutely has psychological control and pharmaceutical control, by the way, but this beast system now has control of the mind and the subconscious, and has bypassed people's rational thought processes. And we talked about on this podcast, the Yuri Bezmenov, where true, information no longer matters. These people are not going to revolt. And even if they do revolt, we have the writings that have been attributed to Theodore J. Kaczynski, also known as the Unabomber. And if he was a real person, he's smarter than all of us put together, supposedly had, some kind of crazy IQ of like 186 or something crazy like that. He explains, and was a literal professor at Cal Berkeley after he graduated from Harvard at, some very young age. And was also, the government has admitted to putting him under mind control, MK Ultra mind control, by the way, if he was a real person. And again, I'm not one of these everything's fake people. I go more along the lines of fictional. Okay, so let's go ahead and I've got my book here, Technological Slavery, Volume 1 by Theodore John Kaczynski.
So Ben really loves Theodore Kaczynski. That's his avatar online, and that's why I got you guys. If you remember here, you can throw up the custom emoji. Got the Unabomber one for you, and then this is the Benton one, the Doomer. And real quick to let me do a plug for anyone. If you did want to join the membership of the page, I started doing a new stream on Sunday afternoons for the members, and it
113 in the house, by the way, for that broadcast.
The new stream
Shout out
every
to
Sunday
37.
afternoon.
Appreciate y'all being here.
Shitopia, because that's all I can say when I'm out here. Where Ben says nightmare dystopia, That's kind of a doomer term. I'm out here. I'm laughing at it at this point. I'm just saying we're in batshit-topia because everything's batshit. So I got the last 2 episodes here. I'll be back again Sunday. And any prepared videos that I make, which I should be working on more now that the computer's fixed, I'll put the prepared videos out to the members first for a few days. I don't know, 3-4 days or something before I put them on the main channel. But let's get back to the nightmare dystopia. And Benton, he goes into a read of Theodore Kaczynski's book. Now, this is why I keep saying you don't know if Theodore Kaczynski is even a real person, right? Like, it could just be a made-up thing. And either way, though, there's like a writing that's a really smart.
Denise Winterbottom, by the way, on the comment there. I have not seen her in quite some time. Also, Pretty in the house on Drew's live chat there from 2021.
Person, it makes a lot of sense. I would take it one more step further and say that writing, whether or not it's the same guy, is that's the mentality of the person that they want to social engineer. But let's get through the reading first, and I'll get a little deeper into that.
And this is page 113. It's called The System's Neatest Trick. And it says, the system has played a trick on today's would-be revolutionaries and rebels. The trick is so cute that if it had been consciously planned, one would have to admire it for its almost mathematical elegance. I guess I can read some of this. It says, what the system is not. Let us begin by making clear what the system is not. The system is not George W. Bush and his advisors and appointees. It is not the cops who maltreat protesters. It is not the CEOs of the multinational corporations. And it is not the Frankensteins in their laboratories who criminally tinker with the genes of living things. All of these people are servants of the system, but in themselves, they do not constitute the system. In particular, the personal and individual values, attitudes, beliefs, and behavior of any of these people may be significantly in conflict with the needs of the system. To illustrate with an example, the system requires respect for property rights, yet CEOs, cops, scientists, and politicians sometimes steal. But the fact that CEOs, cops, scientists, and politicians sometimes steal does not mean that stealing is part of the system. On the contrary, when a cop or a politician steals something, he is rebelling against the system's requirement of respect for law and property. Yet even when they are stealing, these people remain servants of the system as long as they publicly maintain their support for law and property. Whatever illegal acts may be committed by politicians, cops, or CEOs as individuals, theft, bribery, and graft are not part of the system, but diseases of the system. The less stealing there is, the better the system functions. And that is why the servants and boosters of the system always advocate obedience to the law in public, even if they may sometimes find it convenient to break the law in private. And I'll skip ahead here to how the system exploits the impulse to rebel. All of us in modern society are hemmed in by a dense network of rules and regulations. And by the way, he wrote this in the year 2002. And obviously things are much, much worse with the dense network of rules and regulations. We are at the mercy of large organizations such as corporations, governments, labor unions, universities, churches, and political parties. And consequently, we are powerless. As a result of the servitude, the powerlessness, and the other indignities that the system inflicts on us, there is widespread frustration, which leads to an impulse to rebel. And this is where the system plays its neatest trick. Through a brilliant... What are you talking about? And then Kaczynski explains that, well, even when... And he also says...
I feel like some of these cuts aren't right. I don't know what happened when if you know, Ableton, I had everything warped, and I chopped it up, and I closed them all together, and I unwarped them. I feel like... So I'm sorry for those jump cuts. I tried to make it not as hard as that. Let me see where it's going down here, though.
What are you talking about? And then Kaczynski explains that, well, even when... And he also says we are powerless. So, Jackson wants to say the power is with the people. No, the people are powerless. Why are the people powerless? Because the people do not exercise their power in mass. That's why.
Church. Yeah, I got to roll with Ben on that one, that the people are powerless, but because they choose to be powerless. Nobody's stepping into their power right now. Especially now when we need it the most. Everyone's kind of just sitting on the sidelines. What's up, Big Drink Tea? He said, what's up? He finally caught a stream. Yeah, we're just reacting to Benton's reaction video. And then next week on nightmaredystopia.com, there'll be Benton reacts to Drew reacting to Benton.
What are you talking about? Oops. The people do not...
I just fixed this. Why is it not working?
Up with a wild hair.
What the...
Why are the people powerless? Because the people do not exercise their power in mass. That's why. So if we've seen that the masses have put up with all of these things that they and we are putting up with, to me, it's completely illogical to think, oh, well, one day they're just going to wake up with a wild hair up their ass and revolt and go and kill the elites. It's not going to happen, partner.
A new drinking game. I know it's only noon. Maybe you got a mimosa or something, but every time Benton says, partner, take a shot.
And Mr. Kaczynski, it happened, partner. And Mr. Kaczynski explains that this the system's neatest trick. The system's neatest trick is to subvert or to redirect these rebellions and these revolutions. And it also says this, and just before that, it says the system needs a population that is meek, nonviolent, domesticated, docile, and obedient. And man, if that perfectly describes what I see every time I leave and go out into the public. I see a population that is meek, nonviolent, domesticated, docile, and obedient. That's what I see. Now you go outside your door, and I apologize. I'm not going to pass you. I'm not.
He said I'm not going to pass you. You can tell he gets fired up, man. I think he's on that fire water here on this stream.
Happen, partner.
Whoops, man. Something's up with this new install. The cursor keeps slipping on me.
Revolutions, and it also says this, and just before that, it says the system needs a population that is meek,
Why does this not work? Sorry.
Public, and tell me, what do you see, partner? Do you see a population that is meek, nonviolent, domesticated, docile, and obedient? If you do, if that's what you see, explain to me how those people have power. How those people, by the way, we know that people are not united. And there is no we when we talk about, oh, what can you just send out a text and have 10,000 people show up to a protest? If you can't do that, well, what the fuck are you talking about? It seems to me like, Mr. Jackson, you have a lot of organizing to do to be able to send out that text to get 10,000 people to show up for a protest. Until then, what are you talking about? The power is with the people. LOL. Sure, it's not.
See, Ben's full doomer, but he's right, man. That you can't. But that's all by design, right? That's how they engineered all this social media and everything, and they got everyone from going to everyone's individual website and everything, and they created the feed where it all comes to you. And now people are too lazy to even go to the nightmaredystopia.com. They're too lazy to even go to the D Live and everything like that. They want to sit on the YouTube and have the feed come right to them. And you see it even in the chat here a lot today. They say they haven't been getting the notifications or anything like that. You used to have to actively search the stuff, and now they brought it to you on a platter, and now people are that's just what you're used to now. So there is no way to even organize through Facebook or anything like that nowadays, because these are their platforms, and that's what it seemed to be designed to do. Looking at it now, is to get you on there so you can't organize any kind of uprising or anything like that. I think Ben would agree with that. That was the whole point of social media,
What are you? It also has to suppress or harnessly suppress.
What is going on? I'm sorry, dude. This
nation to violence. Naturally, traditional racial.
Did I miss a whole section here?
LOL. Sure, it's not.
There we go.
It needs to avoid any conflict or disruption that could interfere with the orderly functioning of the social machine. In addition to suppressing racial, ethnic, religious, and other group hostilities, it also has to suppress or harness for its own advantage all other tendencies that could lead to disruption or disorder, such as machismo, aggressive impulses, and any inclination to violence. Naturally, traditional racial and ethnic antagonisms die slowly. Machismo, aggressiveness, and violent impulses are not easily suppressed, and attitudes towards sex and gender identity are not transformed overnight. Luckily, the system is able to feel their need by providing them with a list of standard and stereotyped grievances in the name of which to rebel: racism, homophobia, women's issues, poverty, sweatshops, the whole laundry bag of activist issues. Huge numbers of would-be rebels take the bait. In fighting racism, sexism, etc., they are only doing the system's work for it. In spite of this, they imagine that they are rebelling against the system. How is this possible? First, in the 19...
You stop there for a second and say, yeah, like they have the prepared, grievances that Kaczynski talks about that he was reading. They have the same thing for this community too. It's like the prepackaged conspiracies, like Q and the pizza one and everything like that. You know what I mean? It seems like they're just like paint by number conspiracies for entry-level people that are just getting into the deeper information, and then you get sucked right into it. So everything seems to be by design, and there's just multiple layers, in my opinion. As you go down, there's just another trap and another trap and another trap, all the way down the rabbit hole, just to get you sucked in.
First, in the 1950s, the system was not yet committed to equality for black people, women, and homosexuals.
This is Benton reading Theodore Kaczynski's book right now, but he gets back on his own speculation and talk soon.
So that action in favor of these causes really was a form of rebellion. Consequently, these causes came to be conventionally regarded as rebel causes. They have retained that status today simply as a matter of tradition. That is because each rebel generation imitates the preceding generations. Second, there are still significant numbers of people, as I pointed out earlier, who resist the social changes that the system requires. And some of these people even are authority figures such as cops, judges, or politicians. These resistors provide a target for the would-be rebels, someone for them to rebel against. Commentators like Rush Limbaugh help the process by ranting against the activists. Seeing that they have made someone angry fosters the activists' illusion that they are rebelling. Third, in order to bring themselves into conflict, even with that majority of the system's leaders who fully accept the social changes that the system demands, the would-be rebels insist on solutions that go farther than what the system's leaders consider prudent, and they show exaggerated anger over trivial matters. Black Lives Matter, anyone?
Benton, anyone? No, I'm just playing boy. You're my boy. You know it.
For example, they demand payment of reparations to black people, and they often become enraged at any criticism of an oppressed group, no matter how cautious and reasonable. In this way, the activists are able to maintain the illusion that they are rebelling against the system, but the illusion is absurd. Agitation against racism, sexism, homophobia, and the like no more constitutes rebellion against the system than does agitation against political graft and corruption. Those who work against graft and corruption are not rebelling, but acting as the system's enforcers. They are helping to keep the politicians obedient to the rules of the system. Those who work against racism, sexism, and homophobia similarly are acting as the system's enforcers. They help the system to suppress the deviant, racist, sexist, and homophobic attitudes that cause problems for the system. But the activists don't act only as the system's enforcers. They also serve as a kind of lightning rod that protects the system by drawing public resentment away from the system and its institutions. For example, there were several reasons why it was to the system's advantage to get women out of the home and into the workplace. In the 1950s, if the system, as represented by the government or the media, had begun out of the blue a propaganda campaign designed to make it socially acceptable for women to center their lives on careers rather than on the home, the natural human resistance to change would have caused widespread public resentment. What actually happened was that the changes were spearheaded by radical feminists behind whom the system's institutions trailed at a safe distance. The resentment of the more conservative members of society was directed primarily against the radical feminists rather than against the system and its institutions.
And the same thing, you could say any of these movements today, like he said, BLM or even QAnon, the pizza one, Atomic Ping Pong, and all those ones, it's like put out there by them and they're behind it. And they say it's censored, but then they push the videos of it and they have millions of views and 100,000 subscribers and everything like that, while at the same time crying that they're censored, because it kind of gives it like credibility to those people that have that mindset and believe in it.
because the changes sponsored by the system seem slow and moderate in comparison with the more radical solutions advocated by feminists, and even these relatively slow changes were seen as having been forced on the system by pressure from the radicals. So, in a nutshell, the system's neatest trick is this. A, for the sake of its own efficiency and security, the system needs to bring about deep and radical social changes to match the changed conditions resulting from technological progress. B, the frustration of life under the circumstances imposed by the system leads to rebellious impulses. C, rebellious impulses are co-opted by the system in the service of the social changes it requires. Activists rebel against the old and outmoded values that are no longer of use to the system and in favor of the new values that the system needs us to accept. D, in this way, rebellious impulses, which otherwise might have been dangerous to the system, are given an outlet that is not only harmless to the system, but useful to it. E, much of the public resentment resulting from the imposition of social changes is drawn away from the system and its institutions and is directed instead at the radicals who spearhead these social changes. Naturally, the system's trick does not work perfectly. Not all of the positions adopted by the activist community are consistent with the needs of the system. In this connection, some of the most important difficulties that confront the system are related to the conflict between two different types of propaganda that the system is.
Get another jump cut here. Why did that happen?
The system is absolutely securing for the system. It is an orderly, docile, cooperative, passive, dependent population. Above all, it requires a non-violent population since it needs the government to have a monopoly on the use of physical force.
You can't disagree with that. The government is violence, right? And they do have the monopoly on violence. You do it, and it's called kidnapping, but they do it, and it's called an arrest for whatever reason.
For this reason, integration propaganda has to teach us to be horrified, frightened, and appalled by violence so that we will not be tempted to use it even when we are very angry. By violence, I mean physical attacks on human beings. More generally, integration propaganda has to teach us soft, cuddly values that emphasize non-aggressiveness, interdependence, and cooperation. On the other hand, in certain contexts, the system itself finds it useful or necessary to resort to brutal, aggressive methods to achieve its own objectives. The most obvious example of such methods is warfare. In wartime, the system relies on agitation propaganda. In order to win public approval of military action, it plays on people's emotions to make them feel frightened and angry at their real or supposed enemy. In this situation, there is a conflict between integration propaganda and agitation propaganda. Those people in whom the cuddly values and the aversion to violence have been most deeply planted can't easily be persuaded to approve a bloody military operation.
Mad Max Bob Barker in the chat said they demand the system uses a heavy hand so they don't have blood on their hands. Yeah, that's a great comment. I think he's done reading this manifesto here in a minute. I'm just going to let it play.
Here, the system's trick backfires to some extent, and I would say that's not even really true anymore. The activists who have been rebelling all along in favor of the values of integration propaganda continue to do so during wartime. They oppose the war effort. No, they don't. Not anymore. And I think that's talked about on this live stream, although I'm not sure it's actually in any of my clips. I think at some point there was some talk of, anti-war, people that opposed like the Iraq war. The activists who have been rebelling all along in favor
I
of the
don't
values
know
of
any of
integration
them
propaganda
people,
continue
Roy.
to do so during wartime. They oppose the war effort not only because it is violent, but because it is racist, colonialist, imperialist, etc. All of which are contrary to the soft, cuddly values taught by the
No, I
integration
missed that,
propaganda.
and I still don't
Bye,
know who
Kevin.
Ryan
Peace out
Dawson
then.
is.
Kevin's talking. Listen, I'm reacting to his reaction of my show. So I'm going to get to it. I'm just letting him get through the Theodore Kaczynski part.
Here, the system's trick backfires to some extent, and I would say that's not even really.
Whoops, I lost my spot. Because of you, Kevin.
The war effort. No, they don't.
I'll just skip ahead now. I lost my spot here.
The activists who have been rebelling all along in favor of the values of integration propaganda continue to do so during wartime. They oppose the war effort not only because it is violent, but because it is racist, colonialist, imperialist, etc., all of which are contrary to the soft, cuddly values taught by the integration propaganda. Except, back in the olden days, and again, apparently this was written in 2002, 18 years ago, maybe more people were thinking for themselves back then. But now, since true information no longer matters, shout out to Yuri Bezmenov, these activists, they no longer, they don't oppose war anymore. Now, maybe they did 20 years ago. Maybe 20 years ago, they would say, yeah, it's colonialist and it's racist. No, the lefties are the warmongers now.
Yeah, I think you see that I don't know, there's cycles of it, though, where it's the left and right, kind of flip-flop pole shift or whatever. And he is right on that. Yeah, the lefties are did you guys see that one? I can't even play it here, but where those people went into that Trader Joe's, did you guys see that one? And you can see who the aggressor was all the people inside the Trader Joe's were the aggressors. The other people it was a peaceful protest. And every step of the way, every person that escalated it was the Trader Joe's employees. And you can tell just by looking at them that they're the gender studies type people and everything. I think he's almost done here with this. Let me just play a little more. Sit back, relax. It's cold where you're at. Turn on that space heater. Drink a brew.
It's interesting how that's been flipped, around. So, I'm very annoyed with the so-called truthers on many levels. And, going back to my idea that they just don't have a lot of schooling, but they seem like they know everything. They just, the people have the power. Oh, really? Do they really?
I don't get where this is a thing he says a few times, I'm pretty sure, that the truthers don't have schooling. Now, I could be wrong, but I don't think Benton has any schooling unless he means just reading books. But when he's saying schooling, to me, that implies like higher education, which I think even Benton himself would agree that the higher education and everything is just to crank out statist. So I'm not sure what he means. Maybe he's just saying it the wrong way there or something like that.
Well, I'm going to need you to demonstrate that, Mr. Jackson. Now, I feel like Mr. Kaczynski's making a pretty good case here with his 186 IQ.
Partner. So that's what I wanted to say before, is that every revolution they create is manufactured and everything like that. And then so that's what I'm saying, even about the Theodore Kaczynski book attributed to him and everything. Even that manifesto, so-called, every other manifesto is fake. So why would Theodore Kaczynski's be real? But at the same time, I do think that's being used as the template of the type of person that they want to create with what this is called, the so-called truth community and everything like that. Like when you're done, because I've talked about before, information flows downstream, right? So you're going to go from liberal to conservative, and then you keep going down these rabbit holes and everything. Maybe just at the end of the rabbit hole, that's some of the conclusions you're going to come to. So then they have this Bible type book at the bottom there that you're going to find. And then they use it for people, it's like one of those, they can flag it, whoever's reading it or whatever, they know that this person's into this type of information. Because when you look into the story of Ted Kaczynski, I mean, why would the dude drive 2 states away or whatever it was to put something in the mailbox back in the 80s or 90s, whatever it was? It would just be a guy putting something in a mailbox. So why would he wear a hoodie and glasses and everything like that? It doesn't make any sense. No one would be looking at him until he does put on like a costume and does that. That's just going to draw attention to him and everything. So that's what I'm saying, that type of character. And you can even write him in jail and everything like that. So maybe that's just like one of those lightning rod characters. And then when people start writing him in jail or everything, then just to get you on their radar and everything like that. Terry Miller says, Ted is reason. Now see something, snitch. Yeah.
Yeah, I guess that's enough on the system's neatest trick. And perhaps we will return to the writings of Mr. Kaczynski at some point in the future.
So yeah, that was his whole point, though, was the system's neatest trick is to co-opt the revolutions and everything. But then he acts like the Theodore Kaczynski one itself is legitimate. He does say that it's possible. It's not, but he does talk about it a lot. He uses it as the avatar and everything like that. And when you do read it, though, it does make sense. But you do have to be aware that it could be used for something like that, just to see who's at that level of the rabbit hole or whatever. What up, humble disciples?
And my apologies for the background noise. That's the heater. I turned it off yesterday when I was doing a recording, and it's cold enough here in Arkansas that it actually just turned itself on. So I figured I might as well just go ahead and run it.
Cold all over everywhere you're at, man. Here today it was like 18 below this morning. Wind chill was probably like negative 30 something, and then the next week or within a week it'll be like 40 degrees here. So it's like an 80-degree temperature swing, at least where I'm at, coming up. This is the last cold day where I'm at, and then tomorrow it reaches above zero finally. It's been sub-zero for the last week at least.
We actually have a somewhat rare snowstorm going on, a couple inches.
ESP revaluation says Trump lied to everyone. Yeah, you're late to the party on that one.
We actually have a somewhat rare snowstorm going on, a couple inches of snow on the ground. Of course, what that means here in Arkansas is that hardly anybody drives anywhere. And I myself made sure to.
Right, but why would someone who says the world is overpopulated want to help people with it?
But wouldn't they want to take out like the people that see through it, and not the people that just go along with
Gary,
want to shut every fucking month?
Because Gary, and as well as the ATF agents getting the heads up to not come into work that morning, or some sort of text message or group message. Yeah. Well, and part of the undiagnosed autism, Roy, if I watch a video of that, some people having a discussion, who the people are and their humanity, the person and their personalities it's a nothing burger for me. So if I don't have an interface into the actual material, it's a non sequitur for me. And I was talking with Big L about this, because when somebody just launches into a story, and I do this also, by the way, but part of whatever I'm afflicted with is if somebody launches into a story in a conversational sense, in a one-on-one conversation, I don't know, I can't follow the story, and then I don't know when it's over. I don't really know the point of the story. But every story, no matter what, every story can be distilled into a one-sentence explanation of what exactly happened. And if I'm provided with that one-sentence explanation first, then I have a context and in a way to interface with the story. And then I get to use my skill of only taking in the relevant details, because many storytellers, I'm sure I do this as well, provide irrelevant details. So when someone's telling me this story, I just don't know where we're going. I don't know where we are. Sometimes the story ends and I didn't even know that was the ending. And I've actually trained myself. Oh, thank you, Roy. We can officially next stream, if I remember, which that's a coin flip. That could go either way. But next broadcast, if I remember. So host memory dependent. We will be simulcasting, and I don't expect anything to come out of that. But who knows? Nor did I necessarily expect anything to come out of this. So, what is the relevance of one jackass's predilections in this regard? If that's I actually forgot what I was responding to of my own. I forgot which comment of mine in the recent within the short-term memory buffer zone I was responding to. It's pretty bad when I'm talking to myself on some level, delivering this discourse, and I can't even remember what I'm talking about. But yeah, so please bear with the hypervigilance and the autism, Roy. It's I'm sure the fact that I know Roy has excellent taste and he's recommending a particular discussion by particular people. I understand that means something, and I do understand and appreciate it, Roy. Well, I understand it. I clearly don't appreciate it, but I don't mean that that it bothers me. I mean, if I did appreciate it, surely I would actually watch the videos. But please, pretty please with sugar on top, if you could write me a sentence or two about why in the hell this is relevant, and we'll just have to do it on stream, man. That's really the only, we have to do it it's not going to happen. I'm not going to do it off the stream. So yeah, next time you send me a link, just tell me why I would find this interesting, please. If you don't mind. I'm not trying to assign homework here, but of course the EBT gives himself homework. But back to the clip. And THCO is fully kicked in now.
We're more what's that word? We're more like
I do like the TED stuff.
Or whatever it's called.
We're relevant to them in a very infinitesimal amount. So they're just like, whatever. Doesn't matter.
No, I think it's the opposite.
God, Jackson. It's the opposite? This is the famous time that Jackson talked about he could fix the realm if he could just give everybody like, I don't know, I think he said like an eighth of shrooms. He might have even said 5 grams. I don't remember what he said. Or even worse, he might have said microdose. But actually, he knows a lot about psychedelics, so I'm pretty sure he said a large dose. And I was like, bro, 25% of the adult population is going to freak the fuck out if you administer, especially without their knowledge and ability to potentially prepare themselves mentally. You can't just drop that trip. Dude, 25% of the population would freak the fuck out, especially the more anal retentive, obsessive, repressive people who tend to align with the right wing politically. That you're going to 25% of them are gone, and I don't know that half of them are coming back. This is some throwback shit. Yes, sir. I don't know that we gave ourselves proper credit for the quality of our content, EBT. I'm not sure we were. And as you know, when the modern YouTube era and the modern YouTube StreamYard era of paneling began, obviously, and I will put myself in the CBO camp at the level of the contributions to the content specifically, right? I am in that group. what would they call that in like rap or I hate to use the word collective, but I guess it would be some version of that. But yeah, I'm not sure that I know for a fact, EBT, that group, and you certainly, from my perspective, would be in that group as well. Never received proper credit for the content of the material, sir, in my view.
Yeah, because I think spiritually dormant people, they don't.
Indeed.
I don't think they
Indeed,
give up.
Jimbo.
They're not
It's a race to the bottom.
Right.
Alphabet, Google, YouTube's Hell Pit. It's the clickbait platform. It is a race to the bottom, and hopefully this is it. I'd hate for this not to be the bottom.
Okay.
So I think what Jackson's talking about there is something I would agree with, although you can never prove it. But like, there's an entity out there that these people either work for it or entity works through them, or however you want to say it, and this entity feeds off of your misery, your grief, and just by putting you in a lower vibration or something. So I can't speak for Jackson, but that's the way I interpreted what he just said right there. He said you're more. I think he's saying like the truther is more spiritually succulent to the beast system.
In that case, it would be quality over quantity.
Let me jump in here. I like how Tinfoil goes all passive aggressive when his ideas get challenged. This is a spiritual war between the forces of good and the forces of evil, and we are the battlefield. We are the substrate.
I couldn't agree more with something like that. And the war takes place. It's unseen. You don't see it, but it manifests in the actions that you choose.
So it seems to me like the only way, if there's a being that is referred to as Satan, and that's my belief, I'm not foisting that on anybody else, but if we can agree that there's at least this evil force that
it's not a Bible channel and we're not talking these topics, but I am going to go ahead and institute a back catalog exemption with respect to the religious and certain religious and spiritual ideas. So I'm gonna pull rank in that regard. We're just gonna write that into the bylaws or amendment to the Benton channel. The Benton School of Broadcasting charter, would that be? Whatever. I think you all know what I mean. Speed up Jackson. Not everybody is able to speak quite as quickly as old Benton was reading.
Certainly seems to be in control of this realm.
Oh, that's
and
me.
if in fact there is a spiritual war being waged, and that we are the substrate, the humans are the substrate, or the humans are the battlefield, and you have various religious texts that say things like every knee shall bow. Well, here's the thing: the only way for me to defeat Satan is to submit myself to the will of the Most High God actively through my creative force.
Benton preaching.
So it seems
Circle
to me like
the wagons.
We have a concept of NPCs.
I think this is when Benton was buying,
and some people are like,
spending all of his paycheck other than basic necessities. I think this was back when Benton was buying guns and ammo, like probably on the order of $750 a week for months on end. So I was at war, and in fact, I did a podcast episode, although not necessarily well received. But one of my Nightmare Dystopia podcasts was entitled "Benton at War." So I was in a certain mode here. So I think this is where. And I talked about religion probably, or things that could be construed as religious topics probably. I don't know. Why am I attempting to form an opinion on the frequency thereof?
I think they even have a soul.
See how I skillfully avoided using the word judge? Holla.
Or let's just say they're beyond redemption potentially. Well, that means Satan has already got them, and they can't be redeemed, arguably. So obviously,
I'd have to disagree with that and say
okay,
they can be redeemed if they choose to be redeemed, because let's say that's what you would call a person that's not.
Well, I'm talking about the entity.
I would say almost everyone.
I think that was
in here in
this
the
is a
chat at one time was
misunderstanding. I
not
believe,
awake, or however you want to call it, and living a different kind of
OTW's
lifestyle.
live,
and then you get what
show
you
us
call saved,
begun.
or however some people want to call it, and you make different choices. So I will agree that it is very unlikely that they will change their ways or beyond redemption, or whatever you said.
So obviously, it seems to me like the system, the evil beast system, is going to concentrate its efforts towards spiritually attacking those of us who at least have a desire and a goal to submit to the will of the Most High God. Me, myself, I claim Christ. Okay.
So right when he says Christ, I don't know his name here. I don't know how to pronounce this. Indy Grove, probably saying it wrong, but he typed the power of Christ.
In the groove is who he's talking about.
Compels you at the exact moment Benton says Christ on the podcast. That's pretty wild synchronicity. There's a lot of power in the name of Christ.
Okay. I think it's a worthy goal to follow the teachings of Christ Jesus as outlined in the Bible. But again, I am not a Christian. I don't want to be associated with those fucking losers. And Christians are fucking losers. Because if this was a Christian nation, I don't think that we would be having, I don't think there would be all of these issues that we're facing. Okay.
Me personally, I wonder if that's where the I don't know, repulsion between Benton and tinfoil stems from, is because tinfoil is an admitted Christian and Benton's not, even though he kind of believes in all the same things and everything. To me, maybe that's part of the tension there.
And I'm very critical of the churches. I'm very critical of the Christians. That's why I don't want to be lumped in with them. Okay.
And I would say, Benton's in here, maybe he can extrapolate on that. I would say he's saying, you call yourselves Christian, and this is supposedly a Christian nation, yet it's been trampled on for the past 50, 60, 80 years or more, you know what I mean, slowly and slowly, and no one's stood up and done anything, and Benton doesn't want to be associated with that. So that's my take on Lisa.
And my thing is, if something's worth doing, it's worth doing of its own merits. To me, that seems like a worthy goal to attempt to follow the teachings of Christ as outlined in the Bible. But I don't adhere to this notion that, now I have to follow everything the Bible says. No, I don't. I've got skin in the game. And this is a wholly individual experience, by the way. And I think a lot of these so-called truthers, and as we're about to see in some of these clips, they seem to get confused and think that it's a team sport that's being played. Oh, no, this is not a team sport. This is a wholly individual experience. My salvation is not your salvation and vice versa. I can't save nobody. You can't save me. Okay.
EBT in the chat says the United States was never a Christian nation. Now, would you say it's a Freemasonic nation, right? Almost an experiment is what I would call it.
It's impossible. Can't be done. Now, if I'm to be redeemed, and if I'm to be...
Bob Sapp says, Ben, why are you so mad, bro? He's a doomer, man. What happened in the Discord is everyone starts calling him a doomer, and he spirals out and he says, well, this is what's happening, partner. But at the same time, it's like, dude, I could go to the store right now and get hit by a car and just nuked. I'm done. So what's the point in fucking crying about it that hard? That's the way I see it.
Through Christ. Christ done that. And through Christ done that. And I done that. You didn't have nothing to do with it, partner.
Another shot.
That's through done that. My apologies if I'm lecturing the audience, but again, I've talked about in the past, it seems like, so many of the so-called truthers, they rush to embrace complication and sophistication, but they skip past, they go around what is basic and fundamental. And what I consider to be basic and fundamental in this context is that we were all born into a spiritual war between the forces of good and the forces of evil. And the fact is, if we are the people who, in comparison to the NPCs, the soulless NPCs, arguably, I don't necessarily subscribe to that view. I certainly think there's something that I call an NP, which is...
Well, he just said before that they're irredeemable. Now he says he doesn't subscribe to NPC. That's finished what he said.
An NP, which is, I've detected a lot of these people out here don't have personalities. And then as far as I think they're going to start talking about, do people have an inner dialogue or not? And again, I apologize. I'm not sure if I got that clip or not. You might want to just go, listen to the whole stream. It is pretty interesting. Certainly some humorous moments.
Yeah, you can go listen to that on DLive, Go there. Make sure you go to nightmaredystopia.com. You can hear all this live stream or this podcast in its full. I did see it in the chat. Who said it? Mad Max Bob Barker said, I'm with Benton for real. I mean, Benton's really smart. He's got a lot of good points too. And so that's the duality we're at right now. It's like, is he really just doom and gloom, or is that how shit is? So that's kind of how you perceive it is a little different. I mean, I think everyone agrees that we're in a real tight time right now.
Some humorous moments. So of course the system, if there's all these NPCs or if 85% of everybody is more or less soulless and just running a script and is no longer processing data and is just spiritually, beyond redemption, then of course the system is going to, and as I've said, it is my assertion that the system has psychological and pharmacological control of those people. Then of course the system is going to use those people against the 15% who still at least have a chance of submitting to the will of the Most High God. Why? Because the only way for Satan to defeat the Creator in this wager or in this war is the beast has to get everybody simultaneously to fall away from submission to the will of the Most High God. And I don't think that's really made clear. That's a conclusion I've come to. So it seems to me like as long as even one human being is submitted to the will of the Most High God, Satan loses. And we know that, if we believe the Bible, that, the prophecies and the scriptures talk about, that Satan has but a short time, to do this work. And I think that's what we're seeing. And that the COVID is being used, as just the next step in trying to enslave all of humanity to the nightmare dystopia beast system with the Antichrist as the world ruler. Isn't that what the Bible says, right? Again, I'm not saying that you should believe the Bible, but apparently a majority of this country still claims, at least in the United States, to believe in the Bible. That's what the book says, as far as I understand. Now, please, go and do your own research. All right, back to the clip.
Now, Jackson, don't know about that one.
Dude, I thought that's what everything. That's how I do it.
Yeah, JT in the chat said dead baby boomers so that they don't got to pay out that Social Security.
You see how it implies that the money's real.
Well, oh, that's right. I forgot everything's fake. But it's interesting because in some of these clips, I'm going to show how many of these so-called truthers, they don't actually think everything's fake. They kind of pick and choose. And when it's to their advantage in the course of the conversation, they'll say, oh, well, yeah, but that's fake.
I want to interject there and say, yeah, that is true to a point. And I think I do see that sometimes too. It's like everything's fake except this when I want to make this point. But I think we need a different word or something, because when I'm saying like space is fake, I think that's a totally wrong way to say it. But I think when I say it, and I know that you guys are here in this channel, it's the same people and stuff, I know that you guys know what I mean. But if you're saying it's fake to somebody at your work or something, they're not going to even comprehend what you're saying, because you're saying there's a space, a distance between you and those lights up there. But when I'm saying space is fake, I'm talking about as presented by NASA So I think I would just interpret what Jackson said as the financial system is fake, or whatever he said, to mean, it's obviously it is fake, but at the same time everyone believes in it. But I think Ben knows what he means here, and he's kind of getting caught on the semantics of it.
But then when they want to talk about politics, now all of a sudden politics is real.
Pedantic,
or if they want to talk about, like the GameStop,
pedantic.
Where the GameStop stock ran up, for a period of time. If they want to talk about that, oh, well, now all of a sudden the economy's real. But if I bring up a topic that they're just not interested in, oh, well, but that's fake. Oh, yeah, you're saying that the system wants to get rid of the baby boomers so it doesn't have to pay out, all the Social Security. Oh, but money's fake. Sure, it's not. I've got Federal Reserve notes. Praise Almighty God in the mighty name of Christ Jesus. I'm not broke yet. I've still got Federal Reserve notes in my wallet, and I use some of them to purchase this delicious Guinness Extra Stout that I'm drinking.
It's not
Shout out to Guinness Extra
But
Stout,
yeah, the money too, like on the YouTube, when I'm looking at the YouTube stats, it's like the likes, the follows, the comments, and all that shit. That's all just like a digital thing that only
Back
remains
in the
there.
drinking
It's like
days.
like YouTube
Not the
cloud or
good
whatever.
old days,
None
but
of
the
it comes for
drinking
anything other
days.
than maybe triggering the algorithm. But when you look at any like donations that come through or whatever, the ad revenue, the money, that's something that's actually real and tangible that I can bring into this 3D reality, whatever you want to call the real world, my real world. I can go buy groceries with it or something like that. What's up, Ralph Florino? We got wholesome Ralph Florino in the house. I wanted to ask Ralph if he wanted to.
Oh, by the way, let's talk about Ralph Florino, because the reality is that Annapurna absolutely poisoned Ralph Florino, who was a regular high-level contributor to the content. That content collective I referred to earlier. In fact, well, anyway, I don't even want to sidetrack myself, but he has a lot of energy around cults, because he's in spite of how he comes across metaversely, Mr. Loreno is up in years. Pardon me. And I did at least 3. I believe I did 4 podcast episodes. Having a conversation with Mr. Loreno over Discord, voice calls. And by the way, he has, other than, Kim may have gotten millions of views or whatever. He had a lot of views, but by channel, Loreno has by far the most views of any of us, meaning people in these so-called truth communities, other than maybe some huge name, right? But he uploaded a bunch of like World War II videos, like film strips or whatever, and got like millions and millions of views for like his whole channel's got just crazy amount of views. So just so y'all know. Anyway, I have sidetracked myself, but he had a lot of energy around people, joining some kind of Eastern religion back in the 60s and the 70s, but probably mainly even the early 60s probably. And, joining the stereotype back in the day was the people that come up to you in the airport and try to give you a flower or whatever. Hare Krishnas, and then, a lot of other groups. Well, many people's families did not like that their young, their child, who was now an adult, by the way, in their 20s, had gone and joined what they perceived to be a cult. And some of these people were then kidnapped against their will, by people paid by the families, right? Intermediaries on behalf of the family, the immediate family of the person who had, from one party's perspective, had joined a cult, and then had been deprogrammed against their will from their perspective, right? From the perspective of the person who had been in the organization. And Ralph apparently knew some of these folks. Maybe it happened to him on some level, I don't know, but he's got a lot of energy around that. So at a certain point, Anna fueled him up to come onto my channel and more or less demand, at the time, me and Drew were having actually a disagreement, a falling out after this falling out, which is none of that's even really a real falling out, right? And so that, oh, well, now the time is ripe, and the harpy comes into camp, right? Thank you for giving me that vernacular. So the harpy came into camp and fueled up Ralph Loreno against me to then, because I had hosted him on my podcast. I guess he just assumed I would have him on to talk shit on Drew, which of course I'm not. Why would I do that? With respect to certain things having to do with cults, and I've actually forgotten just exactly what the tie-in was, but EBT probably remembers. But that absolutely happened, just for the record. So thankfully I'm unable to hold a grudge, but I do not forget such things.
Come on maybe soon and talk about the farmers in India.
Yeah, I think we're going to leave it there unless the people revolt and demand to hear the rest, because I never really know. It's hard to know the level of engagement with that material. We had G-Spot try to come up here, also known as Top G. I think I could probably just I think I would like to end with a discourse directed towards Mr. G there. And I will start with what are we going to do? Compliment sandwich, or actually this is, it's going to devolve. Necessarily I'm going to be delving into what will most likely be rightly characterized as harsh criticism and critique. Oh, here's Anglo Elite to now I get to practice. Thank you, sir. Thank you, Anglo Elite, for coming on today and allowing me to do my Eastern practices of, controlling myself. So how are you, sir?
Anytime, man. Anytime I can provide service to you,
Thank you.
doing great.
Hey, let me fix your mic settings here. I got you. You're good. All right. What's on your mind, sir?
Oh yeah, I just wanted to talk about the diet again, if you'd like to.
Fantastic. I can't wait. Let's do it.
All right. So what? So let me know about what is like a standard, typical diet for you, like day to day, in the life of Benton.
Well, I can certainly have a conversation with you. I would not be interested in a spontaneous interview.
Okay.
Yeah, but like a back and forth where we're having a conversation. But yeah, this has actually become an interview style. And part of my study of myself, with the help of astrology, by the way, in my birth chart, is that I typically am annoyed and by and reject out of hand spontaneity on the part of others directed towards myself. It's probably some sort of character flaw, but I'm well aware of it. But yeah, you would need to schedule your interviews in advance, sir. Through the email would probably be the best way. But yeah, we can definitely go conversational. That's never a problem. Like what's going on in your area, but not like in an interview style. Just wherever you want to take it.
But have you ever actually eaten raw? Like actually eaten raw eggs, raw meat, raw dairy exclusively without like cooking it or anything like that? Are you there?
Oh, I'm here. I'm hosting the broadcast, sir. How could I not be here?
I mean, yeah. So have you exclusively eaten, raw meat, raw eggs, raw milk, and shopped at, gotten like quality meats, quality eggs, quality milk, not from Costco or Walmart or Kroger? This isn't an interview. This is just a question.
And that was a statement. I can tell a story though, while whatever this is playing out. So I had this very motivated dentist as a lad. My parents had a high income for the area, and they were very foolish and naive at that time in many ways. And the dentist saw a way to, add to his wealth, or build a portion of his wealth rather. So lots of dental procedures directed towards Benton's orifice here. And at a certain point, I'd had so many cavities, and we finally figured out that for whatever reason, when I would be shot up with Novocaine in my mouth, that really wasn't a problem, except for like that whole side of my face would be numb literally for the entire rest of the day. Like, this is not an exaggeration. So finally I was like, hey man, like we're not rolling with this. I'm not doing the Novocaine anymore. It's just crazy. I'm going to school, and lots of fillings, man, lots of mercury going in old Benton's head here at the time. Thanks, Doc. Anyway, so I'm going in for 3 cavities, and by then I'm like probably 17, 16, testosterone in my ears, tough as fucking nails, just, more or less an idiot. Here, let me mute your mic for you. Help you out here. Let me help you out. So I'm getting 3 cavities, and I think only one of them was kind of deep, right? The other 2 were just kind of not so deep. So I'm like, yeah, we're not. And I think we had broached the topic before, but I'm like, no, man, we're just not doing the Novocaine. So it's like, if he wants to get the money, so he has to at least perform the procedure. If he wants the money, whatever he's billing my parents. I'm like, no, man, I'm just flat refusing the Novocaine. And so he's like, well, we can do this other thing called carbocaine, whatever the fuck that is. But that didn't do anything, I can assure you. So the minute the drill touches the cavity, I felt 1 bead of sweat popped out on the forehead. And then I realized, oh, wait a minute. Well, I've already chosen this course of action, so I ain't tapping no matter what happens. Meanwhile, Doc knows that this ain't feeling too good. Doc knows we're going deep on the last one. And so what happened was Doc didn't really have the constitution for this, or he hadn't gone there, at least in his line of work. So what happened was, as a result of the drilling, that I imposed my will on that man, and I showed myself to be of greater will. And I do enjoy any and all opportunities to show myself as a man of greater will. It's probably my favorite thing about being a person. And it does cross over into bully tactics, or it did at times. I would say it regularly. I was a bully and didn't know it. It's not a thing. But yeah, I muted him because he's listening to my story. But we'll bring him back. He was making some. Well, I can certainly sit here and interview myself, right? That's not going to be a problem. But yeah, I knew, like I didn't have.
I can ask you a couple more questions.
Well, you're going to be asking different questions that I'm not going to answer. So you can really ask whatever you want at this point. I'm not in control of that. I'm not in control of that.
The food quality at Walmart is probably the best in the world. I mean, the food quality in Walmart and Costco.
Well,
you can't get better meat. You can't get any.
I already
better
see what
meat.
you're doing. I see what you're doing.
No,
Excellent.
you really can't. I mean,
I like that you've changed tack. I like that you've changed tack, though. It shows that now. I'll be interested to see where you go from here. That'll be the interesting part. I'm not sure I see a path out of this for you.
You can eat raw meat at Costco and Walmart, and you can heal yourself.
Thank you for the information. I will keep that in mind going forward.
I thought the stream was about pancreatic cancer and ways that you could help, ways to, get yourself into remission.
What gave you that idea, sir? I don't call any such.
I mean, you take a lot of supplements. I mean, you obviously you obviously care about your health.
Well, I did just notice that I asked a question that you failed to answer, by the way, but you then, much like a politician might do, you answered the question that perhaps you would have preferred that I had asked. Fascinating.
All these truthers, man, they negate the issue of diet. Why is that? Why do all the truthers negate the issue of diet?
I don't know, but my favorite part of whatever you just said is that is not my problem, partner. Cat-like reflexes, by the way. Cat-like reflexes. I wish the camera had caught that. With my offhand. Cat-like reflexes with my offhand. Caught the mixer as I.
Do you miss driving down the dystopian lanes of America? Hauling shit to Costco.
No, I do not. Oh man.
Why not?
No, I do not.
I should have taken the trucking pill, though. The trucking pill, 15 cents per hour, 15 cents per mile. I mean, who wouldn't want those rates?
Well, minus whatever the government, whatever haircut the government gives me. I'm having some. Don't mind me. I'm having some. Papaya powder. I know you're well versed in such products.
Papaya. Why don't you eat a raw papaya, man? You're buying a fucking papaya. You're buying papaya, synthesized papaya from China. You can go get.
This is from Thailand.
That's even worse.
Oh, good. Excellent. It's going to be wonderful. Can't wait.
If you're having some lady boy, create, your supplements. I mean,
God bless her. I mean him.
Then you had negative experience with meat purchased from Walmart. I mean, how is that possible? Walmart quality is supreme.
Be right back. Trying to find a spoon. Thank you for your patience. Preparing the papaya powder now. Presently preparing the papaya powder.
You realize when you take the supplements of a papaya, your body doesn't recognize that as anything. It just sees it as a poison.
Well, that's unfortunate. Maybe perhaps I'll get recycled and come back here.
Your body can't assimilate, those.
The next
your body
incarnation of old Benton will then have this knowledge. Present Benton is not good. It's not going to get it. He's just not going to understand. It's just not going to penetrate the stubborn noggin. Although I may decide to reach the same conclusion at some point in the future. That's, of course, I always reserve the right to do that. I mean, why wouldn't I? That's good for the bloating. See,
and if you really want this stream to
it's good for the bloating. It's good for the.
If you really want this,
hey, you're talking while I'm talking. Let's not talk while the host is talking, if you don't mind. If that's okay, I mean, it's all right. It's okay with you on the Benton Channel broadcast here, if you don't mind not talking when the host is talking.
This is the Anglo Elite channel now, and I just
want. Fantastic! He's taking over. I love it. Yeah, yeah. Let's not talk while the host is talking. And then if you thought it was your turn, and then I start talking, that means it was not in fact your turn, sir. So that means stop talking when you hear me talk. So, yeah, not interested in any more of that. We can talk about the food. That's one matter, but the decorum is another matter entirely. Yep. I thought I did better that job, though. What do y'all think? I didn't get all froggy and getting my feelers. So thank you. Shout out to Anglo Elite for providing me with today's opportunity to move just one slight step closer to that Zen Buddhism that we all seem to, on some level. I can't speak for all of us, that some folks seem to have some sort of, what would that be? Affection for. Yes. What's up, Rob? Yeah, etiquette. Yeah. Yeah. So this is why I don't do panels, but then the reason why I did do panels is so that at some point my skill level would be high enough that I would be able to deal with what I need to deal with up here. See, Benton School of Broadcasting, Patna. Oh, the finest GMO corn-fed, hormone pumped. That's right. No kidding, Thunder Chicken. Yeah. Meanwhile, I wonder what he would have to say about my the fact that I eat 4. Well, I used to eat 8, but now I eat 4 cans of mercury-laden tuna fish every day. Yeah, I wonder what he thinks about that. But yeah, schedule the please schedule your interviews. Please schedule your interviews in advance. Thank you. I'll be happy to participate. Or not. You do have to respect the coming back around a few times, right? Yeah, this is an interview, non-interview RT. That's right. Yeah. Well, and then, so what, if anybody remembers the early morning saunter, when I walked to Walmart, and most likely had the popo called on me, if anybody recalls. But I believe I addressed these issues surrounding social isolation, and I wonder if that may be something that Anglo Elite is coping with. Maybe this is his attempt to, because I have to think there is a limit to the, watching me talk and then whoever ends up coming up here at various times or whatever clip I'm playing and whatever insane drunken nonsense I'm up to in downtown Little Rock, Arkansas, right? I don't know who that is now. I'm paranoid, but I think that's the same person trying to come back under alter egos. But yeah, people, attempting to deal with, of course, it could just be like an algorithm, right? It could be a deep fake. Is this even real? Could be TBO. Who knows? At one point, or TBE rather, that was the conventional wisdom was, Terry, well, I guess it could be in a context. Well, that's true. It's a good point. In a certain context, I would say that can one may or may not. In my experience, I was able to separate myself at various times and work on aspects that I needed to work on. However, I would assert, based on what I know, that it's in the long run, it's unhealthy. It's detrimental to the human. So perhaps this is a human being attempting to deal with its social isolation. I certainly support that. But only as such does not interfere with me dealing with me necessarily dealing with said social isolation. Me first, of course. How could it be any other way? But then to connect with some of the ideas espoused by one Mr. Unslaved, I have a knowing and wisdom in my view. This is where I do divert from Paul, although in some way we may actually just be agreeing and not know it. But I actually, in my view, wisdom is granted or bestowed, and it cannot be earned or attained. That's my view. Maybe we're using the same word to mean two different concepts. I don't know. I can't call it, but yeah. What was I talking about? I don't remember. Oh, social isolation. Yeah. And Mr. Unslaved. Oh, well, it'll come back to me. Probably not, though. We're on the THCO. A Schedule 1 drug according to the DEA, which is I would say widely available if one knows where to look. Over the counter, tobacco shops and vape shops and truck stops, perhaps a large gas station or two. Although my state has banned them, Arkansas. Where did I leave off? Hey, it's Matt. Who the hell's Matt? We got panelists wanting to panel. All right. How about this is two people and then they can talk and I'll watch this.
Hey, how's it going, Matt? Matt, what are you eating right now? You eating a raw steak?
Just went to Walmart.
Walmart? Yeah, Walmart has good quality meat there.
Yep. What are you eating?
I just ate, some papaya enzymes. They were really good. They satisfied my hunger, and my prostate, my pancreas is now better. Never felt better after taking these supplements.
Which ones are you taking?
I'm taking these ones from Thailand. They're called pancreatic enzymes 101 plus, and man, oh man, my symptoms have been alleviated just like that. I can finally go to Arkansas Razorback games.
You need to help Benton.
Yep, I'm trying to get him to take these supplements with me so we can go tailgating. Is this a post conspiracy channel or a diet channel? What is this channel?
Post primal.
Do you think in a post primal world, you could heal your pancreatic cancer by smoking vape? I like the vape right after I take my pancreatic enzymes because I feel like the vape potentiates the effect of the enzymes. Without the vape, I think the research shows that the enzymes work at a 30% efficacy rate, but with the vape, it potentiates it to about 155%.
Yeah, it depends on which brand.
That's true. Benton, man, what are you doing? Taking a massive dump from those enzymes, huh? Clearing you out. That's detox, baby.
I'm saving that for your mama later.
That's some kinky stuff. You into some wild stuff, Benton?
Oh, I misspoke. I meant your dad.
Damn, that's a visual right there. So Benton, man, I know you're into fasting, and starving yourself, and you read up on rebooting your system by fasting for 48 hours or whatever. But I think you should go longer, man. I think you should go for at least a week. And Benton, I challenge you to go to Walmart, man. I'll give you a half of a Bitcoin right now. I will send you a half of a Bitcoin if you go to Walmart right now. You get, the best cut of steak known at Walmart, and then you eat it live on stream. I will donate half a Bitcoin to you.
All right, but I get a quarter of it in advance, or so half of the.
No, it doesn't work that way.
No deal.
And you can bring on I'm the Tao. I'm the Tao. Even though he has a homestead and like 20 acres and a flock of sheep and goats and cows, he still succumbs to Chick-fil-A. He still succumbs to Arby's. It's not enough.
He can't even eat meal. He can't even eat a meat. Anytime he eats a meal, he can't do it every time, dude. Even though he has 50 acres.
Yeah, even though he has 50 acres, he can't eat meat every meal.
Nope.
I think I see some of the remainder of the Chick-fil-A in his mouth there on the screen.
Could be.
The audience wanted to know about kratom. Anybody ever eaten powder that's been harvested from trees in South America and grinded up and sold to people in America?
Yeah, it's actually grown in Thailand. It's related to it's in the same family as coffee. I think that will heal your pancreatic cancer as well. Taking loads of kratom.
Fantastic.
While you vape, that's also been shown in many recent studies to ward off pancreatic cancer.
Yes.
You have to vape, though. You have to vape right after you take a parachute of 5 grams of kratom up your asshole.
Oh, we're not boofing. No.
No, you have
to say no to boofing.
No, you have to boof it because there is some research that kratom is sensitive to the liver, so you want to bypass, it being absorbed.
Oh, that's great.
Yeah, but
I have an outstanding liver.
While you're parachuting it up your asshole, you need to vape. You need to vape and clench your asshole to keep the kratom in.
This is. Oh man. Is that before the big or after the big dump and one of your parents? I forget which.
Yeah, either one would be fine. Either one would suffice, in your fantasy.
Oh, I'm pretty sure they requested it.
They did. So are you going to Walmart?
Oh, I've already been to Walmart, sir. I mean, I speak in this accent. I'm obligated, more or less, to have already visited a Walmart at least once today.
Do you live 0.03 miles away from a Walmart?
It's less than 1 mile, certainly.
That's excellent.
Well, there's 3 super centers and 2 neighborhood markets, and the area is no more than 150,000 people. That's not doing
So you're
too
in
bad.
walking distance of Walmart.
Oh, of course. I mean,
Well, yeah.
yes,
Well,
absolutely.
Well, then you're made.
Yeah.
You've already made it.
What more is there to worry? I mean, what more can I possibly be worried about? There's nothing to worry about. Praise God, aka Serenity Now from Seinfeld.
And so back to the diet. I mean, so why are you so scared, to eat exclusively raw, I mean, just because the government tells you on the back of the package, to cook your food thoroughly. I mean, they're always looking out for you, but I mean,
yeah, of course.
Yeah. And they're all, and the FDA loves us so much that they spray our meat with citric acid, to destroy all the bacteria, the harmful bacteria in the meat.
I will say, I would consider potentially consuming a fresh animal such as a sheep or a goat, perhaps. But I would want to eat.
You can go move with I Am Tao, on his 50-lot acre.
That's a great idea. I would want to eat the entire animal, not just whatever even the farmer's market provides, right? Not even what the local, person provides. I would want to have the animal alive myself, and then I will help myself to the entire animal. That, I think, could potentially bear some fruit, because I read on Vice, and everything on the internet certainly must be true. Vice had an article from years ago about a fellow who had similar issues to yours truly, and in fact ended up becoming a butcher, because of course he did, but he was subsisting entirely on raw. It's like he started with goat, and then he went over to mutton, and of course some of the meat was fermented, aka rotted intentionally, right? Yeah, he seemed to recover. Yeah, he seemed to recover. That's the moral of the story there.
Instead of vaping that nicotine, you should be taking some high meat, man. Eating some high meat.
Well, and again,
I can show you some high meat right now. I got some high meat with me. I can open it up for you on live right now.
Let's not do that. But however, entire animal.
Let's do it. Actually, let's fucking do it. All right.
Entire live animal. So I'm gonna get on my this may be that's not gonna work. Hey Matt, how are you?
I'm just here for the show. Right
on. Welcome to the show. I guess we're saying show now. I don't know what that fella's doing down there, but we don't need that on a live broadcast, whatever it may be. I should be screen capping. This is when I was really on my game last go around with the StreamYard, staying in the $183 a week motel in Branson West. I was actually screen capping when people would be in the backstage or whatever that is, where I can see their camera. I used to screen cap a lot of that. That's Snafu making some funny faces. Maybe I'll stumble across those vids at some point. Yeah. But I guess some people were expecting a cancer stream, and then I changed the title of the vid, and then I went live on my phone early this morning, so sort of ruined the whole thing in a way, or took the steam out of it, and changed the stream title like 3 times, 2 or 3 different times. I think I've already been cursed thinner, sir. He's down there. It's like he's cursing me now. It's like Can we not do that? I've already been cursed thinner, sir. Hey, just wait till you wake up one day and this channel. Why do you think I got monetization, by the way, folks? So now one day when you wake up, I'll be like that Kali muscle guy I showed yesterday, and you'll be like, when did this become a breatharian channel? And then and only then will the super chats roll in. So yeah, we're going breatharian. That's the secret. That's the secret non-secret.
Oh,
the
can
secret
you,
open
can you
secret.
let Anglo Elite come back up?
I don't know. Perhaps if he can behave properly and not get the stream taken down. We'll see how this goes. Trigger finger is
I'm sorry about
trigger
that.
finger.
I got too overzealous, you know.
Yeah. Sometimes well, never mind. Something about premature, but yeah.
The P, I put P because, you know, I saw, you know, in the chat that this was about pancreatic cancer, and I was trying to hear. I'm here to support you, but
thank you.
I want you to be at the next Arkansas Razorback game. You understand? I
Well,
want
that
you
makes-
to survive to see the next Arkansas Razorback opener.
Well, that makes one of us, sir. But I understand. I appreciate the sentiment. I certainly will not be attending a sporting event ever again, because that shit's fake. Thanks for that, fellas. Appreciate you. It's just as well.
College football is not fake.
Well, they say to the victor go the spoils, and the South lost the Civil War, but wins the football every year. How does that work? I'm just not quite sure. What is that? A bit of a mixed message?
If you do believe in the Civil War psyop story.
Oh, well, I forgot. Yeah, Civil War entirely fake. I forgot there was no Civil War. Thank you for reminding me.
No,
Apologies for referring to the official fiction in that way.
How dare you? How dare you?
According to that Chalk Body Outline channel or their friends,
Great
or whoever
channel, by
they
the way.
are, history's real now.
Oh, okay, good, fantastic. I'm no historian, but I know just enough to annoy people with my history.
History, theology.
It's all on the table.
It's all real.
It's all on Matt's table. We've come full circle. I've just had.
You should bring Machine Lies on to discuss this.
He wrote Machine Lies wrote a 4,000-page book on epistemology, philosophy, eschatology, metaphysics.
Just imagine the length of the book he's writing right now.
Machine Lies? Yeah, Machine Lies is writing a
2,400 pages, 6-volume tome, certainly. Encompassing a critique of the entirety of known human written knowledge. I can't wait. It's going to be great.
They woke up at the last second and they found religion.
Oh, that was that movie. What was that movie? Seth Rogen and James Franco, where like at the very last, as they're going to pass, they convert and then get beamed up and raptured. What was the name of that movie? Anybody remember? I remember that one. It's a bit of a mockery, as one would expect. Shout out to Machine Lies. EBT was flashing a Masonic Bible, apparently.
That's just
Dow.
a prop.
Okay, correct. I am the Dow. Well, I wouldn't say just a prop. That would be certainly not that simple. That would be an oversimplification. Rob Cleveland has a Masonic Bible, whatever that means. Oh, yes, I've taken the heroic dose. I just now read his comment here. Mushrooms, guys. Certainly not as grown adult humans, right?
Are you a descendant of Cain or Abel?
Edomite.
You're an Edomite?
I guess so. I mean, that's what the Black Hebrew Israelites told me. So They seem to have studied it extensively, so I'm going to go with what they said. Yeah, Edomite. I've forgotten entirely what that means. Edom from the Bible, presumably EDOM. But this is not a Bible channel, and we're now I'm running the risk of running off certain valued contributors to the channel here. Yeah, Walmart is the government, by the way. Just got to remind the people. This is quite a chill broadcast, I must say, fellas. Well done. Admirable, to be sure.
So what do you think about the CBO crew waking up at the last second and they basically punched their ticket to heaven?
In that context, I would be curious because I do enjoy dissecting a sentence structure. So in that context, what would constitute the last second in your view?
Presuming that we're in the end times.
So that would be with respect to the length. Okay, so what would be the length of the period considered the end times? And now I think I'm falling. Well, I believe I'm now falling into a deliberately laid trap, but I'm curious, so I'm asking anyway.
Jurassic Fire already has the timeline laid out. Christ returns around 2026.
Okay. So the last second is very hyperbolic and, in fact, exaggerated for effect, arguably.
Well, it says in the Bible, some of the first will be last and some of the last will be first. So
that seems like a bit of a non sequitur. Please continue. I've not heard you out.
Well, you see, the Chalk Body Outline crew, they didn't grow up in the church necessarily, but they converted later in life, actually at the last second. So they inherit the kingdom of God first because they love God and Christ even much more than even somebody that was born into the church, you see.
I see.
Yeah.
That's interesting, to be sure. I think you've given us a lot to think about, both as a broadcaster and an audience today, if I may be so bold as to say that.
Do you want to wake up at the last second?
Well, if you're asking Benton specifically, do you really want to go down that road? Now you're falling into my trap, perhaps. Because I certainly would have an answer. But we've got to this point, and things have been civil and amenable. I would prefer to leave it there and possibly continue in this vein in the future at some point. On a loosely, like an ad hoc basis, not no obligation certainly. But this has been, I've enjoyed this. It's added to the broadcast. The 29 folks have hung in there for this, so appreciate you fellas. I think we're going to bid you adieu. Any final words would be appreciated, potentially, perhaps.
I think that's it.
Right on. No, yeah, feel free to decline the being placed, put on the spot. So Anglo Elite, nice having you fellas. Matt as well. Yes, EBT. But again, all of the comments are about me to some extent. So maybe that one is mine. I don't know. I guess we'll leave it there, fellas. I'm going to kick you off. Appreciate y'all being here. That was fun. That might just be my own paranoia, right? Well, that's interesting, Dow. And I will resist the urge to, I'm kicking these guys just from my own hypervigilance. So hope y'all don't take that personally. But clear the deck, and then I think we're going to get out of here. maybe I can rebuild my energies enough, not to join a panel clearly, but to, maybe continue my creative endeavors today. And I do appreciate and thank the audience for allowing me and affording me would be a rather probably better. Oh, I remember what I was going to attach to Paulia earlier was, that I know based on what I've practiced and the wisdom bestowed upon me that I believe is outside of me is that if I'm going to be taking from broadcasts or from certain endeavors in a way, then certainly I would, based on my own code, I would obligate myself to give to the endeavor first, which is what I would like to think I'm able to accomplish much of the time. Yep. Shout out to TBE and CBO. Indeed, sir. And, again, shout out to the people who participated back then in providing what, on some level, I'd forgotten the level of the content, especially with respect to what is being shown in these so-called truth communities. And I include myself in that in my recent content. So, I am measuring myself against the standard, of the past in some way. Oh, I know. EBT is responding to this, I believe. See. Yeah. Yeah. I didn't think he would have. I was reviewing what I had just said to the fellas there, and I was trying to be as like, did I really say something EBT would have at least, typed at me about? But yeah, not me. Yeah, thank you. Yeah, good show to the fellas indeed, Alan. So yeah, that was to finish the earlier point that I went down that road and never finished. Let's end on one of my new favorites, actually. What we saw earlier in the broadcast that some folks may have missed. I have a special video for you that was played earlier. This is Benton IRL from I don't know when exactly. But let's check that out real quick, and we'll get out on this one. And I hope everybody enjoys the rest of their day. If I may presume that one has found their day enjoyable up until this point, and perhaps if this broadcast was able in any way to contribute in that vein, all the better. Okay, go to your content, sir. Videos. Here we go. Here it is. This is in a Walmart Supercenter in Jacksonville, Arkansas, very near an Air Force base. Little Rock Air Force Base. I think that's called Little Rock Air Force Base, maybe. Not sure. And this is not on my channel, this video. Maybe I'll put it on there. So let me share the screen. And for those who haven't seen it yet, I would encourage the viewer to first pay attention more so to the sound of what's happening. I think that would be a good way to go. Full screen. All right, we're going out on this, although I may play it twice and I may stop it and talk. So who knows what's going to happen.
All right, Benton here. Benton here. I'm at the Walmart in Jacksonville, Arkansas, which does happen to be, wow. Do you hear this guy yelling? I hate to laugh, but look at this scene. And normally I wouldn't film a couple like this that's doing this, but I'll tell you why we're doing it is because as a truck driver, I see this all over the country. A couple just like this with a sign like this. The part that's new about all this is that I've just now started seeing the violin. And I don't know, y'all aren't doing anything wrong. No problem. No problem. No policia. No policia. No policia. And this guy yelling help. They are kind of making it hard on him though, because you can't hear him over the music. Yeah. Yeah. I make a video, sir. You're in the video. I make a video. I see this everywhere. Who makes you do this? Is this human trafficking? No. I see this everywhere. Truck driver, drive truck. I see this everywhere I go. Yeah. Yeah, people like this everywhere. So is it human trafficking? Is someone making you do this? No. Who gets the money? Who gets the money? Well, he's not playing, but he's going to play a recording. Oh, I can film you. It's okay.
No, it's not.
Yeah, it is.
I don't want it. I don't want it.
That has nothing to do with it. No, it's not, ma'am. You should probably study the law, ma'am. I'm a free American. I'm allowed to record in public. I don't know if you know that. Yes, I can. I'm doing it right now, in fact. Not only can I am. How about that? Wish it wasn't so windy. Ma'am, if you don't want to be recorded, you probably shouldn't be in front of my camera. You walked over here, ma'am. I was here first. Yeah. I don't know what the problem is. Oh, and there's cameras literally everywhere. There's cameras. Literally everywhere. Man, that was some loud yelling, brother.
Oh, yeah.
Damn it. What's going on?
Oh, no. Hurt.
Hurting?
Yeah.
What makes it stop hurting?
Ow. Stop hurting.
Did you go to the doctor and stuff?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's got like Charlie all the time.
You got to do what?
Charlie right here.
Oh, shit.
And it scares me all the time.
Sorry, man.
But it's Charlie horses up around your chest right there.
Oh,
Well,
God.
it ain't a heart attack.
No?
But it's just like a Charlie horse.
Pressure.
Yeah.
Oh, shit.
So I get scared. I say, help, help, help. They go away.
Oh, I see.
And it helps.
Gotcha.
It goes away.
Right on, brother. But you're not bothering me. It was kind of interesting, the music and you yelling at the same time, though. That made for, I think I recorded a little bit of that. I don't know why they're leaving. I'm just recording. There's cameras everywhere. See that? Cameras in use. Why don't they like this camera, but they like that camera? I don't understand. You don't seem to mind. Well, I'll let you get back to work, brother. Yeah. Take care.